Question mark?
Uh-huh. Let me refresh my YouTube. Oh, yeah,
Yay, I did it?
you did it.
That's good. Things go. Things are working.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except my computer seems to be frozen, so we'll just pretend that it's not. Okay, alright.
Okay.
I think my sound's good. I look at your sound seems good. I think we're good to go.
All right.
Alright.
All right.
Alright. I'm so excited, you have no idea. You have no idea. Okay, let me just drop this in here.
To the what? 6 people, 7 people already watching? Jesus.
Okay, it's time, it's time, it's time. Welcome. I'm an excited ball of energy. I have just called ST probably 5 minutes ago, and we have not spoken about our impressions of the show at all, except for a few texts exchanged throughout the day.
Taylor is saying I'm quiet.
Oh,
I don't want to turn up my own mic in
got
fear
you.
of
Got you.
destroying everything.
All right, turn it up. We'll keep giving feedback. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Do you want me to turn mine up?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Yes. So we exchanged text messages, and I basically was like, I'm struggling. And that's pretty much all I shared with you, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
far.
But now that we're here live, we can capture this moment.
So
I
hello.
am not okay.
Yeah.
Basically, my reaction to this first arc is I enjoyed it. It was very good. Yeah, but emotionally, I think it robbed me of anything I had. All of my spoons, all of
All the spoons.
the spoons. Yes, but so, okay, let me lay out the premise for this. Sorry, I'm just so excited. My mind is in 1,000 different places, barely slept. So, the premise for this live stream is we're going to be talking exclusively about episode 1. We're going to give a general impression of the entire arc, just like if we enjoyed it, all of that kind of uh, emotional stuff, but then sticking strictly to episode 1, going through it, talking about favorite moments, character beats, and I'm really excited also to talk about the music. I was particularly felt really hit by the music in this first episode as well. But so do not fear if you haven't seen episode 2 or 3, if you haven't seen time. I can't promise chat won't spoil, but we will be SD and I will be sticking exclusively to episode 1. Which
We will do whatever we can to not spoil you.
yeah, but also, I mean, there's just so much to talk about in episode 1.
There
So
is.
I feel it's kind of I want to take it slow. I want to love each part of this masterpiece. We waited 3 years, just why not?
Well, some of us waited 3 years.
Oh, well, yeah, you watched it last week, so
Yeah. I tend to do this with shows. I did the same thing with Stranger Things right before the latest season that dropped a couple years ago came out. I watched it like a week before.
okay. I think everything's set up. I think we're good. My computer unfroze. That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
That's a positive step.
Okay, I would like to start with initial response to the entire thing because I think I gave a little bit of my own, so I'll just continue. Watching these 3 episodes today really robbed me of all of the energy I had, and almost in a spiritual, emotional way. I know that probably sounds really hippy dippy or something really strange, but I had to take a nap after episode 2. Uh, it was
That's
just
real.
heavy. And remember when we were talking earlier, ST, about the other day, how my one concern was that there wouldn't be enough light moments?
Yeah.
I think
That,
that is something, as if it's just completely my own opinion, but I feel like I need a few moments of breath to carry the weight of the rest. And trying to binge the 3, because I'm like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, this is what I do. I want to make sure I watch it, but also, like, I was excited. At the end of episode 2, I was like, I actually genuinely need a break. I need to digest
yeah.
all of this as it's going on. And something we can probably get to is it's pretty fast. I think it uses all of its time uh really well, as in it's consistently packed.
Yeah,
Um there isn't really a loose moment, and
and I do feel like going through with this season, the way that this season is heading so far I feel like we're just gonna keep getting those. Like every single arc's probably gonna be that way. I don't feel like we, as much as I hate to say, I feel like we don't even have time for those light moments. I want them so badly, but like it feels so packed, like emotionally packed, that like we're
it is
not gonna
emotionally
get many
packed.
of those
I,
many of those light moments that we want.
there is a few like light moments, as in
Mm.
light, I'd say like happy quick reprieve moments,
Yeah,
but they are always surrounded by and with that
overshadowed.
stress, trauma, the situation that it's in. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? So
yeah.
I sincerely took like a 2.5 hour nap after episode 2. I was wiped. I was
I
clean
could
off.
not blame you at all.
And I think that's good though. I think that means it's not it's such a good junk food that costs a lot of money that you don't really want to scarf it all down in 3 seconds. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I did kind of scarf it down in three. So I watched it all in one sitting because I wanted to watch it before I went to work today.
Oh, that's fair. That's fine. But did you? I don't know. It is. I guess I am typically a pretty sensitive, empathetic person. So when I experience even like a simple story that someone's sharing with me for um, their life, I tend to, I don't know, feel emotional about it. So
Yeah,
seeing characters I really care about, the impact. Because let's start off episode 1, right? It's the explosion, the impact, the death, and
yeah.
that's heavy, heavy, heavy. And I was kind of just I don't know. Maybe I was in my feels today. How I was.
Honestly, both of us being a little sleep deprived.
Yeah, that too. Sleep deprived can make you like. There was one time I was sleep deprived, and the gum I was chewing just fell right out of my mouth onto the floor in front of me because I don't. I guess I forgot how to chew gum, and I looked at it, and I got so depressed. I went, "Wow, my whole life, I
That
can't
is
even chew gum properly." You know?
that is a different level of sleep deprived, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, that was my emotional response. Really good. I really enjoyed it. The overall, it didn't really let me down at all. So I was happy about it.
Yeah, I was very happy with this first arc so far. I've been very happy with it. But honestly, overall, uh, if I had to pick a favorite episode so far, I almost want to say no. I'm gonna say episode. I'm close to saying episode two, but I think my order goes the opposite of the episodes. One, two, three is three, two, one.
Really, my favorite episode was
Yeah,
episode 1.
really.
Yeah, but again, it's still fresh, so I think as it
Mhm.
sits in, it could change. But initially, yeah, episode 1 for me. I'm excited to talk about it. I think it is my favorite of the 3, and they're all good.
Yeah,
But
I think as we get deeper, I'm going to get more and more excited to talk about things that are going on. Albeit, my main excitement comes from the development of characters as we go on. But
I guess for me, it was the. Oh, there's so much. Should we just get started? Is that your? Is
yeah,
that everything? Your general? Your general?
yeah, yeah. General gist. I mean, I'm sure I'll add more as we go on. I don't, I'm so scared to like accidentally give away things, especially talking about other episodes.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining, everybody. If you want to type your opinions, that's completely fine. I'm more than happy to read them. I love reading them. Try to keep it to episode 1, though, if you can. That'd be really awesome and appreciated.
Yes, please avoid episode two and three spoilers for everyone else who has not watched it,
Because I
because they
know,
are in here.
yes, but most people, I think, if they see one, it's hard. Arcane's like if you see one, you kind of don't want to stop watching. They leave it off on moments where you want to see and you need what
Yeah,
happens next. Okay, so we get our answers pretty quickly. They don't mess around with us emotionally in regards to, oh, I wonder who you
I don't know
know.
if I don't know if it's intentional, but your copyright filter is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
over the screen.
Okay, I'm not playing anything.
Just making sure.
Thanks. But yeah, so we start off seeing immediately who survived the impact, what the explosion kind of radius damage is, and this scene was okay. Let me get to the exact moment here. This look on Mel's face, you can tell that she was disoriented and confused, right? I want to get into one of the first thoughts I had. How is she completely fine? Like,
True.
she's completely fine.
Okay, good. I so wanted to talk about this because how? Because she was the closest to the impact when we saw her in season one. She
Yes.
like it quite literally reflected. I mean, quote unquote reflected. I guess we don't know, but let's say reflected off of her gold plating on her back. How is she like practically not even practically unscathed, basically? Like disoriented from the explosion and I guess the force of being thrown away from the window. But how is she practically unscathed?
Well, she's not even that far from where the window is, too.
Yeah,
And then when we see the destruction that happens around her, so I guess I think you could theorize that maybe that gold plating on her is actually armor, and we
yeah.
haven't really gotten to see that verified yet. And maybe later on there'll be a moment or something where that can be demonstrated because Jace is also fine. Like he doesn't really seem messed up either.
And albeit he well, I won't say anything, but I mean, I guess we do kind of get into that. But like even then, like how how is he actually unscathed? And as we'll see in a moment here, how is Victor not, like how did Victor end up the way he was? I mean, it is a genuine question.
Yeah, and I don't think they're not aware of it with everything that they do. I think they're
Yeah,
probably well aware of the fact that people are
going to
confused.
question
I
this.
mean, at least blow off an arm or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Give me something.
give me
Give me
some,
some damage.
give me some damage.
Hurt them, you know.
But we do see who has died. We see Caitlyn's mom has
Mhm.
died. I mean, if you've watched any of the trailers, you might have been able to piece some of these things together. But
Did not.
I've purposely stayed away from them, so these all
Yeah.
were a surprise for me. But again, I did think Mel was likely to die, and maybe Jace was very likely to die given where the bomb was, and also their character arcs. I felt like fulfilled. And I think we talked about the other day. If they died, we would feel okay about that.
Yeah. We touched on it quite a bit, or well, not quite a bit, but a little bit.
Hey, Jamie, it's nice to see you. Okay, but yes, so we see that Kaylin's mom has
Sylvie
died.
just joined as well. Hello.
Yay! Hello! I'm so happy to be back in the swing of things. Still getting used to things, but we're getting better. But so yes, Kaylin's mom here. Just again, they're like the scenery around them, and you'll see later on too. The glass ceiling is completely shattered, and they're not covered in cuts and bleeding, but
Yeah, I would say not even a cut.
not even a little cut. So I don't know. Maybe it is her armor. Maybe it's just luck. There's something along
Maybe
the
it's
lines.
fate.
I said there is that line Mel says about to Jace later on. We'll get to that. Um, about how things are not fair, particularly.
Yeah.
And then we see Robot Man. His
The
head is
robot
off.
man.
His head is off, by the way.
Was it? I did not notice that.
Yes. His head is like not on his body. So, and then we also have what's a good description of him? The puzzle child, big bellied little man.
Big bellied little man.
Yeah, he's also deceased. They have names, but I feel like that
They have
description is more entertaining.
adequate. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, everybody knows what I'm talking about. But so they're looking around the room, the enforcers are coming in. We see this really cool shot. It's
Honestly,
disorienting.
this was a very cool scene.
It was
It reminded me of do you remember in Breaking Bad when Gus got killed?
yes, yes. Well, okay,
Yeah, that
spoiler, but like
okay, well, okay,
you
okay.
gotta
Breaking Bad came
warn
out in 2000.
people.
People, Breaking Bad came out in 2008. If you have not seen that goated
Okay,
masterpiece of a show, but anyway, sorry. but that scene where he walks out, that oof, that's what this reminded me of. Just like that complete confusion and like almost ignorance of your own like the damage on your body.
Okay, wait. Before I forget, the editing in the beginning, it is very quick, cut in a way that resembles the chaos of the situation. So like that a lot. And then we get this shot here of her kind of looking confused, wandering forward, and then we see them looking around, trying to assess the damage. We see big bellied man just kind of, not doing so good. And then
Oh yeah.
his head is off. Like,
Yeah, completely. Jeez.
yeah, his head is off. And then later on in this episode, by the way, there's the statue, right?
Mhm.
I thought that was actually his head for a second on the statue.
You
Until,
just thought they threw it
yeah,
on there?
yeah, because like it's not, it's like a mechanical thing, So I thought maybe it was just,
I feel like that would be still a little
oh
disrespectful.
yeah,
I don't know.
100%. That's why I paused and rewinded. But yes, so the editing matches the atmosphere. The camera chaoticness is on tone, on par. And
Yeah.
again, though, the whole time I was just kind of confused why they were perfect. I think that'll be answered, so I'm not going to linger
Yeah.
on that too much.
But I do absolutely love the fear in their eyes, like the trauma in their eyes. Like Arcane does so well of like showing emotion in their characters, like just through their reactions, through the way they move.
Yeah, and then at the very end here, we see Caitlyn's mom
Yeah.
doing so good, and she's dead. Okay, so then this part is important. We get Ambessa, Belle's mom, coming in, and she takes charge right away.
Yeah.
She doesn't really hesitate at all. She's like, Mel, you're good. And then we see her giving hand signals, making orders. And with all of the mislikings that we might have for her from previous season, I think here is a moment where we can appreciate that harsher side of her because it
Yeah.
comes into use here.
She just knows how to take charge of a situation. Like even in the most traumatic and like messed up situations, she remains completely calm, cool, collected, and figures out what she needs. She prioritizes. She figures out what she needs to figure out, and then fixes it.
Oh, yeah, and she probably gets off on it too. Like, she seems like she
Oh,
loves
for
being in
sure.
charge. Oh, for
Oh, for sure.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
But yeah, so she's like yelling "Go go go!" and like the music's going, and the music here is good stuff. It's
Yeah.
if you look
I
into the lyrics, it's sorry. Go ahead.
no, sorry. I just love how it's like it is overpowering here, the music specifically, and like everybody's kind of muffled out in the background. It does give that like concussion just went through an explosion in a panic vibe to
Hmm.
it. It really does set that like atmosphere.
I agree. I agree. Yes, yes, yes. So I appreciate that they didn't withhold this from us. They gave us our answers right away because this could have been, show us the explosion from far away, the chaos. They could have kept us waiting, but they're like, no, we left you, and we're gonna continue. So you could honestly watch season 1 and 2 back to back, and
Mhm.
you wouldn't really the time skip. But yeah, Ambessa here is appreciated, and I came to, I don't know, I was happy she was there.
And I do find it now that you mention it a slightly I don't want to call it odd, but the fact that they don't show the actual explosion. They show right before and right after.
Well, yeah,
They
because that'd be hard to take into account, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But, like, just them not showing the impact, I feel like was a very, very neat, creative choice from the writers and from the animators. Like, not actually showing that impact.
Because it'd be a nightmare. I feel like,
Yeah,
yeah, if you were to try to show the explosion, you'd have to probably have a team for a month sitting there designing how the rubble's gonna fall so it crushes this
yeah,
guy, has his head come off, question mark, how, and then
yeah.
like
That's true.
Jason Mel are perfect. And then, and also if there is something going on there, which I think that there might be with her armor glowing, or
Mhm.
maybe, I'm not sure what's happening there, but the fact that they're really unscathed,
It
yeah.
it adds a lot of questions to it. Yeah,
Yeah, and it could be just a very valid commentary on sometimes it is luck and these things happen.
yeah.
We get that line later on. Or it could be I chose to save you over all of these other people. And I'm just not
Yeah.
going to tell you that because I know you'd get angry with me. But we'll see. I think that's something that'll come with time. But yes, I think it's deliberate that they hid. So good point. And then we have immediately my heart. My heart. My heart. Oh, oh my god. I gotta call this because it's. Okay. I knew the chances of him surviving were zip zero none,
Mhm.
but okay, I didn't call. I called it that this would happen. Okay, it doesn't matter. Victor is not doing so hot, is
Uh,
he?
yeah, no,
He's not.
Viktor is not doing great at all.
Victor's not doing so hot. I had it on my bingo
Mhm.
card that Victor would die, so I feel like conflicted if I got that or not. Because basically, Victor is dead. He's oh should be dead.
On
And then
death's door.
on death's door. I think we get a line later on though, showing us that he should have died.
Yeah,
He gets run by Jace with this
yeah,
cut editing blackness, showing that chaos of the moment. And when he's getting run to the room, his shirt is now off, which I found really interesting
yeah.
because it means like Jace.
Chase tried to do something on site.
Mm-hmm. He's already got the runes. So this, you see his face here. This is what I would expect everybody's faces and skin to look like if the glass from above had exploded on everybody.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The tiny cuts all over his body, and you can even see that like on his actual body as he's Chase is running him through.
Yeah, well, those are also the arcane symbols, so it does get a little confusing. Which ones are the cuts
Mm,
from the glass, and which
true.
ones are the cuts that he did himself?
So, yeah.
But yeah, it's this chaotic, like in the moment.
Which now that you bring that up, does add to the whole Mel thing, but
What do you mean?
like Mel may be protecting Jace, and maybe that's why they left unscathed, kind of thing, with her quote unquote armor that we're theorizing about.
Well, yeah, they were embraced right when we
Yeah,
see them. So I mean,
yeah.
it's
Which
either.
means either Mel immediately found Jace afterwards or rushed over to him as it happened.
I don't know. I couldn't tell. I was thinking maybe Jace. It would make most sense for Jace to grab onto her to try to protect her, which is
I
what
mean,
I think happened there.
correct me if I'm wrong. They were pretty separated in the actual council meeting, were they not? I could have sworn
No,
they were
they
on.
were right.
Were they
They were
right next
pretty
to each
close to
other?
each other. Yeah.
Okay, I could have sworn they were on the opposite sides of the room for some reason, but
I mean, he does ask if she's okay, so
yeah,
I don't know. She just doesn't seem. Neither of them have any. We got to move on because otherwise
yeah,
we
yeah,
could.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not. It's not helpful. I
yeah.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We can sit here and theorize about it all day.
but they might answer it. They might not, and it'll.
Yeah.
If they don't answer it and they leave it at that,
Then we can come back and
then we
start
can come
picking
back and be like, hey.
apart.
So yes, Victor's laid on the table. He's frantically looking around, not really sure what to do, and then the uh, what would you call it? I'm sorry, I'm blanking at the moment. The,
The
this
the hextech core, I
Yes,
believe they
thank you,
call it.
thank you. I was about to call it the rune arc, but that's not correct. The Hextech core starts reacting, and Jace notices that it's reacting to Victor not being so good,
Yeah.
and he gets the idea to pick it up with big tongs and carry it closer to Victor. And when
I
it starts, sorry, go ahead.
No, I really thought in this scene that he was just gonna grab it and just like grab it barehanded and walk it over. I'm surprised he took the time to grab tongs, but I don't know. That was my initial reaction to the scene.
I
I
mean,
re- I
he's pretty
genuinely thought that.
desperate. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I genuinely thought that man was just gonna run over and just yank it out, and like whatever happened to him happened to him.
And is
Glad he
this
didn't.
a tear line forming in his eye? I think it is.
Yeah, just on the other side of his eyes.
Mm-hmm. But yes, so I think there wasn't really time for him to thoroughly think through
Mm-mm.
his choice. And
He acted.
once he picks up the core, it kind of starts moving aggressively on its own.
Yeah, it's like a
towards.
magnet.
That's a good way of describing it, like a magnet to Viktor, and he almost feels like he's having to hold it back. It picks up Viktor's body entirely.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking in this moment, the constant cuts of blackness were powerful choices in regards
What
to, like,
the lighting going in and out, especially like the lighting of the core overpowering everything else.
no. So it's we see the pan around right from the beginning. We don't really get any cuts to black, right? So
Mm.
we start this episode off with the explosions, or the
Mhm.
not explosion, the aftermath of the explosion, right? We're looking around, we're actually digesting it. Yes, it's emotional and we're cutting around and the music's going on and there's like muffled sound, which is really nice. But it's not until we see Viktor that we start to get these black cuts, these cuts of
Mm.
um it really mimics well the panic
And
that Jace is feeling,
absolutely.
because Jace is just going, it mimics like the I'm not thinking, I'm
Yeah,
just doing.
yeah. Yeah, he's just moving. He's panicking. He's not thinking about his actions. He's just committing actions. He's trying to save his friend.
Yeah. So I really like that choice. It's a subtle thing. It's a small choice, but it adds to it, and I think as a viewer, it got that across to me
Yeah,
at least. And it's all happening so fast. Like he didn't have time to
yeah,
think. He's sweating. It's just I don't want my friend to die. And then we are done. Like that scene's like 30 seconds from him seeing Viktor to that being done, less than literally less than 30 seconds.
yeah. And I do appreciate that because it just shows how, first of all, how fast Jace acts. Second of all, how fast he thinks.
Yeah,
Because like he knew what to do. I mean, like he didn't know, but he knew. He took Victor's notes and he just started working.
I don't even know. He frantically looks at
Look
Victor's
through them. Yeah,
notes,
skin
but
them.
I don't think
Even.
he's like, I don't have time. Saw that the hex
Yeah,
core was moving and goes, I have no choice
that's it.
really. Maybe it'll do something kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it helped. It's helped his leg. It can help him now.
Yeah. Yes. So what a way to start the show. I mean, it was two of our biggest questions and sets up really important stuff going forward. So, and then we get our intro. Should we talk about the intro? What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, it's the same song, but it's a different intro than last season. So I think it's worth talking about.
Okay. Anything that stood out to you that you want to mention first?
That first of all, because I always thought that. I mean,
What
I
is
thought that
that?
was I thought that was a tattoo. Her wiping away the V is interesting to me.
Oh.
Well, and even if it is a tattoo, and that's just that's a creative, like an artistic choice. That is a very interesting artistic choice for her to wipe it away. Because I mean, what does that mean? Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but does she feel like she's not Vi anymore? She's not herself. She's becoming a new person.
Well, she did get this tattoo in prison, right? So,
Mm.
I mean, I don't know, maybe she doesn't associate with who she was in prison anymore, but this is a
That's very
small,
true.
important detail. It's a good
Especially
point.
considering the decision that she makes at the end of specifically this episode.
Well, hold on for a sec. Hold
I know, I know, I
Okay,
know.
okay.
I don't want to jump too far ahead, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, she does wipe that away. I think that could
Yeah,
easily be overlooked, you know?
yeah,
But what does that mean? Does she feel? I know, because she doesn't really undergo. Maybe she wants to be called Violet because that is her full name. She's
yeah.
never called Violet anymore, and Jinx and Powder is the only name change we really have going on. So I don't know. Chad, what do you think that means? Because I'm not really sure what to make of it. It is though intentional for sure.
Yeah, I'd be curious. I'm so curious of Vi's development throughout the season.
See her muscles,
Yeah.
and then we also see Jinx. I liked this intro specifically because it felt to me similar to a theater box performance with the clothing that they were wearing and the lack of any set, anything surrounding it. The lighting and the beige or plain clothing. Do you know those uh, musicals or theater performances where it's really small audience, and there's just one room and maybe like a bed or a chair, and it's just the actors wearing the same thing the whole time, and it's just like a 2 hour long close kind of reading of a script.
I actually do not.
No,
No.
those are an interesting experience. If you have, you should try to go to one if you can.
Yeah.
It can either be really bad and like you're gonna be stuck in a tiny room for 2 hours and you can't leave, because if you leave then everybody knows because there's only like
No.
20 people in the room.
Yeah.
But this is what I was picking up here. It felt poetic, their clothing choices, and theatrical in nature. It felt minimalistic and I guess
Was that Victor there?
I think it was Viktor, yeah.
Interesting that they strip him of his mutations, I guess you could call them, to both his leg and his hand.
Yeah, they're all really stripped bare.
Yeah,
Stripped
like
bare is what I'm trying to say. None of them have anything. Even like
yeah.
Echo is just.
But I mean specifically Victor because of the hand and the leg. I mean, I feel like that's a part of him now. Like to see him stripped of that, even in the intro,
Mm-hmm.
is just like a I don't want to say an odd choice, but an odd choice.
But Echo doesn't even have the face paint on anymore, and Vi
Yeah,
is wiping off hers. Like it's really
yeah,
stripping them bare, and that's what kind of gave me
yeah.
that minimalistic, theatrical energy that they were going with this intro. I'm not sure if interesting. I just saw that because Wolf pointed it out. I think in chat that the lighting was working as a clock in the intro for Echo. Let's check that out because
Yeah, yeah.
oh wow, neat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, tick, tick, tick.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, I really don't like what that's going to say about his character. I really do not like that that was pointed out to me.
Wait, why? What do you think that implies?
That he only has a limited time.
Oh, well, do you not remember? Okay, maybe that could be what it is, but I just think that's a reference to the flicker, his stopwatch.
Hmm.
And also, we could be getting into some time things. Not
We
sure.
could,
Episode 3 ended in a way, but
in a way.
we'll talk about that eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, small detail. We see at first I saw a mask, and I'm not gonna lie, you're not gonna know who this is, or maybe you will. I just screamed out. I was like, Jin! I don't know why I was delusional, but after watching season 1, I went down the rabbit hole of loving League of Legends lore and getting into the world building, and
Hmm.
then I found this character Jin, and I definitely have the biggest crush on Jin. I'm not gonna try to hide that. So I saw a mask, and before I even like really computed the mask or anything that's going on, I shouted Jin like a stupid little fangirl. It happened to be Viktor. But speaking of a mask and Viktor, why do we think we have a mask for Viktor? I don't really
Uh,
associate him with the mask. Do you know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, I feel like I can't give solid reasons without going too far into that, like too deep. Um,
Well,
without
we
jumping
like deep.
into.
Oh, you mean
Well, no,
without?
no, yeah, yeah, without jumping into kind of spoiler territory.
Hmm.
Um, but I don't know. I'm curious as to what this will say for his development throughout the season.
Maybe it's, I don't know, because it's not necessarily his face. It doesn't really look like his face.
Yeah, but could that be representative of something else?
Yeah, maybe we could talk about it later on because he does have. Let's just say he has a draped cloth around him in a very prophetic way. Yeah,
Yeah,
would that
he
be
does.
an okay thing to say?
Yeah, yeah, and he's the only one I believe in this intro who's kind of dressed like very differently. I mean, at least from what I remember, seeing Vi and Jinx and Echo all in kind of that same garb, like the tank tops, that very loose fitting clothing, compared to this is like
Mm-hmm.
very
And
different.
and you're right. He's
Sets them
completely
apart.
bare, and there's a
Yeah, completely
lighting.
bare.
Yeah.
Which is so like that's my biggest thing is that he's completely stripped of all his mutations, completely stripped of all the magic that he's going through, everything.
Interesting.
It's such an interesting choice.
Yeah, it is. I like it. I like it. Maybe it's their way of saying even as stuff gets crazy and hex tech and characters are gonna undergo a lot, remember the foundation of them kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. But hello chat. I see all of you. I'm so happy you're here. I'm just so happy, but it's making up for the emotional drainage that I experienced today from watching this. So thank you for being here. I see you, Dragon. I see you. So excited to keep going, and we're only on the starting intro, which is
We're at
okay.
the intro.
I know you're not particularly familiar with EFAP, but this is why people tell me I have heavy inspiration from EFAP because they just never every little. Well, the EFAP stands for every frame of pause, so they literally talk about pretty much every frame, which is why it just with Arcane, I think you have to because they have so much like that little shadow ticking. It's like
I was gonna say we did episode 8 and 9 watch through with me. Like we kind of had a little mini stream for it. I think what we got 30 seconds into an
oh yeah,
episode
and then
8 or
Ho Hum
9.
was like, wait a second.
Yeah, and like we stopped at maybe 6 or 7 times by the time that we got a minute and a half in.
Yeah. Well, it's fun. If you like art and you like writing, then this is the place for you. Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
let's continue. So we have this moment of her taking a breath, Caitlyn taking a breath and stepping forward. Turtleneck.
Turtleneck, which is different.
Yes, different. Again, in line with the clothing of everybody else. And then she put on that smile at the end. So maybe she takes on more of a political role this time, which you kind of quickly see. Yeah, that's how things are kind of turning out.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk about Caitlyn's development.
Yes, absolutely. Especially with the conversation we had between Jace versus Caitlyn last night on stream. Then here, with the scene with Jace, I felt like I perceived it as him kind of being in jail or being caught. I don't know. Or it could be literal, maybe with like the spotlight being on him.
Yeah, blind it.
I'm not sure. We have Viktor. And yeah, her hair is up. I found her hair interesting too. Oh, I accidentally skipped over Ambessa. So we have Ambessa here doing the, always in a. I feel like she's always minorly sexual for some reason to me. Like, yeah, you feel that too? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the bath scene especially.
Okay. And then it took me a second. I actually paused to look here. Like she's holding a flower, but there's a whole bunch of dead petals and flower buds to her right. So I thought that spoke on her character, but we learn by the end of the arc that it might be a little bit more literal than that.
Yeah.
But I like the imagery of the flowers that we get throughout the scene in the beginning with Caitlyn grieving, and then also Ambessa I don't really associate with the flower, but if I had to, it would be a black rose.
Yeah, a black rose would definitely be the flower that I would associate her with. She's also in a very
relaxed?
No, I want to call this powerful.
Commanding
position. Yeah. She is very much full, like not full of herself, but very confident in herself. She knows where she stands. She knows that she's a leader, and she knows that she can kind of like she knows her power.
Yeah, her body language is all for that.
Yeah, she's just full confidence.
I mean, okay, we got the step forward, we got the bun, very modern look, and then we get some light shining on Jace.
Yeah, and I'm curious if it's down the route that you were thinking of him being caught, or if it's him being blinded by something. I don't know. This is an interesting cut.
I kind of saw it as jail, but maybe it's just my brain. How it be. And then we get this golden line, which I thought was interesting because Mel's covered in gold all of the time. And then, oh, okay, I love this.
I didn't see her eyes before.
All of the hands, like, choking her, all of the direction. I mean, this is pretty evident, referencing to how she's feeling pulled 1,000 different ways to do the best she can. And we see that pretty early on. So, I like it. Simple and effective. And then this
this is a very interesting
All right,
little
you go
scene
then. I
here.
was gonna take it, but it feels like you got it too.
No, like her being a flag bearer
Mm-hmm.
is such an interesting thought because
Yes.
who at this point who's backing Jinx?
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't think of a single person who wants to back Jace other than like and well wants to no yeah no I can't think of a single person that wants to back Jace or Jinx. Jace,
Like,
Jesus,
jeez. I was
Jesus.
letting you finish just in
Yeah,
case
yeah,
there was
yeah, yeah. No,
something.
no, sorry. I'm so lost. I'm tired. Um, but like I can't think of a single person who really wants to back Jinx, but her being a flag bearer in the intro could be so telling of what she may become.
Yeah, what she might come to represent, because this was
Yeah.
strong imagery to me that represented, or was similar to like French Revolution imagery that
Mm.
I've seen in my studies, and it also did remind me of there's. Are you a fan of? You said you're a huge fan actually of Les Mis. Then this should maybe pop a imagery in your head as well.
Well, no, I said I was a big fan of Les Mis Muse.
Oh, wait, what? What was that?
I was a big fan of Les Mis
The
Muse.
music. Oh, you haven't seen Les Mis.
I
Okay,
have, yeah. I mentioned that I
but you
had
like the
not seen it,
music.
but
I'm
I
so sorry.
love the music from it.
So if you ever see it, this is imagery that I think you would come to associate with that. And I just didn't expect it. It seemed she seemed confident here. She seemed focused on the flag, just had a
Yeah,
strong stance. And when we last left off with Jinx, I feel like she was a lot more fragile than this imagery. So yeah,
yeah.
caught me by
It does
surprise
show a
for
big
sure.
development.
And she seems, I mean, her eyes and her face don't seem as. I mean, eyes are full of shimmer still, but her face doesn't seem as sunken in and beaten
Yeah,
down. And then we get a lot of quick cuts.
the V.
We get the V. we're,
The V
we're.
going across, no, going across her face. The,
Oh,
the the
okay.
lighting, the lighting specifically makes a V on her face.
Does it?
Yeah,
Listen, I don't. I have eyes. I don't have a computer in my brain. This is crazy. Oh my god, you're right. Wow. Okay.
yeah. I thought that was a really cool cut.
That is a cool cut. And then we get her standing face to face with Caitlyn, which I love
Mm.
that. But then in the
All of
next
them.
moment, what do we get in the next moment? We get the pushing each other away, and it's so fast. There was,
Hate that.
yeah. But
Ooh, this is an interesting. This is an interesting little thing here. This almost looks like she's trying like battling an internal demon kind of thing, like becoming a monster, and she hates it. Like
I kind of
that's what
took it
this
more
looks
as
like to
this is
me.
a crown. Like I felt
Really?
the Empress kind of, yeah.
Mm. I
I
don't know.
mean,
It looks slightly more chaotic to me
hmm,
because of I think because of how pointed the points are.
okay, that's fair. I was kind of only because I was the title that he's the crown. I was like
Mm-hmm.
maybe, maybe, but yeah, it does seem like she's having a panic attack.
Yeah.
And the moment of Vi and Vi and Pow Vi and Caitlyn pushing each other away. I mean, that made sense to me because it would be surprising if they don't have a lot of conflict post explosion,
Yeah.
which we
Because of
see.
I mean because she- Caitlyn out of anybody knows.
Well, I mean, we've gone over that her mother's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Like she know like she was there. I could see them having a lot more tension.
So there's just like revelation on her face where she stops panicking and looks kind of directly at us as the viewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's almost scary.
Yeah. I was like, I'm sorry for looking. Like, I'm sorry.
My apologies.
We have feet and we have echoed, and that's, I'm pretty
I
sure,
know.
correct me if I'm wrong, that seems like the same kind of flip
Flip
run
that he does
on the
against
bridge.
Jinx.
Yes. And big, powerful light beam. Cool. Goes backward in time. We get an angry Mel face. I don't think I can make much of that. But then she's sitting in the
In
same.
her mother's chair.
With the
Mhm.
petals blowing away. Going
Mhm.
away there. And I think she has. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's what I want. I had it in my notes. She has no more gold armor on her skin.
Ooh, that is true.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit, I mean, I guess that fits in line with Viktor also being stripped of his.
Mm-hmm. But that would imply that the gold isn't part of her skin, because there's been a big discussion in my Discord and I have had is like, is this part of her skin or is this something that was
Yeah,
maybe gifted to her, or like how what is this?
and seeing, I think that that belief specifically is furthered by what we see with that one counselor. I forget her name, but what we see with that one counselor who got her face damaged.
Oh, the like the one with the neck brace.
Yeah, yeah. That theory I think is furthered because of her and how we see her later on.
Hmm. Yes, we'll get.
But
Yeah, that's a
yeah,
good point.
we'll get to that. But
There's this light that's super bright. Have to block it out, and we get more of Viktor holding what I thought was a bowl at first, but I think this is the mask.
yeah, it's definitely the mask.
I was like, maybe he's really interested in what kind of fruit is in this bowl or something.
The delectable fruit.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, the imagery of a light shining on his face from wearing this mask.
Yeah, and putting on a mask is such an odd thing for Victor. I don't associate him with this. Not at least not yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm curious to see where this goes.
Oh, Minnie pointed out that her shadow looks like Ambessa's.
Mel's.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting. Mm, unless I understood you wrong, but I feel like it kind of looks more like Mel. I think it's just her poofy hair.
Yeah, but based off what we were talking about yesterday too about Mel and her mother. Like I touched on like how her, although I don't believe that she's a carbon copy of her mother, I do believe that her mother has had such an influence on her and the way that she acts.
Okay.
And I'm curious to see how that gets really furthered this season, especially as her mother it begins to play like a bigger role.
It's interesting because chat's saying that it's mostly maybe Mel has those are tattoos, but then we'd have to get to the issue of them being unscathed when the with the explosion. That's just something that
Yeah,
feels to me as
that and that could
too.
very easily be retconned.
I don't know. Okay,
Like
well,
as they went on, they decided that that could be armor instead of tattoos, and that's what led them to this decision for season two. So, but
see, we'll see.
that is interesting.
If it is tattoos, that's a fucking hella tattoo. Let me say. There's Jace approaching a really bright light, and then we have a logo. So that wasn't so bad. If you want a 4 hour, no, I'm just kidding. If you want a 50-minute dissection of that, you can wait for the EFAP one because I'm sure they'll do that for you guys.
I mean, I feel like we're competing.
No. It's that was nothing. Like I don't think you understand. You need to watch them
No,
sometimes.
yeah, I do.
Okay, so this next scene was a very different art style. It was a charcoaly feel. I think that's a fair way to describe the art that comes up.
Yeah, the background especially.
And we get,
I do like the things that are colored here, though.
yeah, well, it makes us pay attention to them, right? Because it's very
Yeah,
purposeful.
they stand out. The flowers, the coffin.
I remember thinking here, though, about the frame rate, kind of, and how everything in the background was moving, like, do. I don't know if anybody here is gonna be really arbitrary game. There's a game called The Cat Lady. Really interesting narrative story. I recommend checking it out. But it mimicked a style that I liked from that game. And everybody moves smoothly that's colored in, and then if they are, it's like flickering, kind of.
Yeah,
And to me, choosing to do this, similar to how they cut with the black with Jace, right? And what that effect had on his, what we were perceiving his franticness, having this art style and having that flickering really reminisced grief for me.
yeah. Yeah, the just the distance from everything that's going on. Everything's kind of just moving in slow motion.
Exactly. Yes. Good words. Yes. You. Yes. Thank you. um, just not really being able to see anything else other than the
What's right in
death of,
front of her.
yeah, the death of her mother, and even
Yeah.
her dad here in the background, like he's not in color either.
Yeah. It's completely grayed out. She's so lost in what's in front of her that she does not see any of this.
Yep. But very interestingly, speaking of the color, I have a
Hmm.
red bow flower.
Yeah. Which I did right before we started the stream. I did want to comment on this because you
Okay.
skipped around a bunch and like I saw this and I was like, wait, what's I'm curious your thoughts on it because like I genuinely don't know why this is colored out of all things.
The pink flower and the red bow.
Red ribbon, yeah.
I mean, I don't know particularly, but I can tell you the way I took it. It
Hmm.
might be wrong. I kind of saw these two symbols as innocence and beauty and youth, like especially because it's on a kid, and contrasting that with death, it just makes it feel a bit harsher.
Yeah,
So seeing a red bow and a pink flower felt it. It made the death feel like Caitlyn lost her youth, and the fact
yeah.
it's like a little girl and a grown woman. Yeah.
And I remember we talked about it yesterday too that Caitlyn has not really been through anything traumatic in the first season, especially. And she kind of had that, like you could kind of see that in her personality, like that she was kind of like this headstrong person that kind of and people might mention it in season one, like you just think that people will give you whatever you want, like that's just not how it works. And like this was her first time really having to deal with like such a sudden shift in her life, like such a big sudden shift, and like probably the biggest shift in her life is losing her mother. So this does really represent a lot, I think.
Yeah, probably besides the explosion happening
Hmm.
to her. And that didn't even really throw her off too much either.
No, but losing her mother from it is destroying her.
I don't know, that's what it meant for me. Do you think it meant something to you?
I honestly I didn't know how to interpret it. Um, that's why I was so curious to hear your thoughts on it. It was an interesting choice for me, but I think I do agree with your sentiment there, like that it's maybe representing the innocence, especially the flower. The flower being encased in glass too is something interesting to me.
Yeah, like
Like it's preserved.
preserving something perfect and beautiful, and I don't know. I
Yeah,
understand. Yeah, good point. I do think someone shared in chat that they had lost a loved one, and I think this scene, the music especially, um, sorry, I didn't mean to laugh, but the music I replayed a lot because I think it brought to my mind and to my heart a very accurate feeling of grief. I feel if anybody has lost someone, this betrayal of her losing her mom and being at the funeral and going through the emotions brought that my experience is present and was respectful while also being painfully accurate. And Ho-Hum pointed out to me earlier a really small minute detail when Caitlyn is watching her mother getting
yeah, yeah.
uh
I noticed this as well when I was watching it. It's a
oh,
very I really love
oh,
this.
you did. You're
Yeah,
superior. I see. I didn't
I
notice it
cause
right away.
yeah, I mentioned to him that I really thought she was gonna reach out and like try to stop it from closing at that point.
Hmm.
She did not seem like she wanted to let go.
I'm gonna go back to other things in the scene, but yeah, she moves her head. The thing that Ho-Hum pointed out was that Caitlyn moves her head to get an extra nanosecond look at
Yeah,
her mother before her mother gets taken away. And yeah, it's just that micro detail.
yeah,
It is
and her
worth
almost
pointing out.
breaking down there. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. And yeah, the lyrics of the song were like, there's an ocean so dark down below the waves. Like, it was just the lyrics. I remember listening to them thinking, the singing, this, I know, I wonder if I could play a song for a second. For a second.
Oh, if I could
Like, so good. I don't know. If you guys like the song, I like this song.
I do enjoy this
You
song.
did enjoy this song? Good, good. Then what other lyrics did I write down? Tell me how to keep breathing while pretending I'm not drowning. Force the door closed for good. I think that actually is what's played right here. Yeah, yeah. The moment that her mom's taken away, and she takes an extra peek. Extra peek.
Yeah.
She takes this extra peek at this last second right here. With her eyes, you can see that in her head moving, and the lyrics
That's
matching.
jump forward.
Yeah, force the door closed for good because I can't keep it open. It's just, come on. But yes,
It is such a powerful sequence.
yeah. I felt maybe that's why I got so depressed because I listened to it over and over again.
Yeah, yeah, you called it your hype song right before we started the stream.
I did, I did. I was like, I gotta listen to my hype song real quick, and I started playing this scene. I think ST was like, "Are you good?" I was like, "Dude, it's so good."
Yeah, this is quite the hype song.
Anyway, but yes, and then to go back a few seconds, we actually get to see the explosion damage from a faraway perspective. Here, I almost made this the thumbnail, but okay. I'm gonna give you my opinion. Please give me your honest opinion, and chat, you give me your honest opinion. I honestly thought from the setup of this bomb, this missile, and the way it was designed and the way it looked, that the damage would have been more.
Yeah,
that's just what I thought.
I agree because I thought it was going to be the full power of the gemstones, the magic gemstones. I did not think that this was the quote unquote full power, and I'm curious to see if we can get anything more than this out of those things. But that was Jinx pumping that little stone into pure destruction, and I do agree. I think it not should have been, but would have been more.
Did it not go off fully? Because in the very beginning, we do see its head laying on the ground.
We do, yeah. That's also interesting that it didn't like rip apart.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. To me, it felt like it should have been a bit bigger. Like, I could have seen the entire building blown up. Not the entire building, but the top part, just, you know?
Yeah.
But
Like I will say like it is a very large explosion. I mean, there's no way that's like that has to be at least like what, probably 30 feet high from top to bottom of that destruction, maybe.
it's not enough. I think for me, I
Yeah,
was confused. And at least because it was built up in a manner was like, this is going to.
like structure and no real structural damage is my biggest curiosity.
Oh, you mean like like the building didn't.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
the building is perfectly fine if you could just patch that hole up, basically.
I don't know. Maybe I just overestimated. But I'm glad to hear that you agree. I just thought it would do more
Yeah.
because it had a hex crystal. So what are they calling that? I'm talking about the little
Mhm.
blue, little perfect blue ball.
Yeah, the little gemstones.
Little
Yeah,
gemstone.
yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause you know what? You know what? We've seen multiple times the explosions that those cause. And
Yeah,
if
no,
you combine that with the green goo that was in that,
and I do like what chat just said. In hindsight, maybe the gem was the missile's propellant rather than its payload.
because it does shoot off blue, doesn't it?
Yeah,
That could
so
be it.
that's because it's not like it shoots out a laser beam like
Mm-hmm.
like the hammer. It just shoots out a rocket, but uses maybe that as propellant. Because she did take a very far shot. She's from the other Undercity to Piltover, all the way to the council building, which is already very high off the ground. So for it to carry on straight that way, that's fair.
Okay. Well, I think that's definitely something that people are going to talk about because,
Hmm.
again, the fact that Mel and Jace were right there and are fine, and then also it didn't meet my expectation what I thought it was. And I'm curious why, as a viewer, I thought it was going to be more. I think there were a lot of other explosions with these blue hex crystals. I don't know why I want to call it that, but that's what they're called. And then seeing what those did before and also later in this season 2, I don't know. was a little mismatched for me. So we also throughout the scene see Vi in color following around Caitlyn or just being present at the funeral. And we focus mostly on Caitlyn, but Vi is there.
Yeah, I do enjoy the focus on Vi, and that Vi is the only, really the only other than her mother, obviously, only other person in color, because that means she is focused on Vi.
I don't think Caitlyn's looking at Vi at all, if that's what
Not
you're
looking
perceiving.
at her, not looking at her, but I believe she's aware of her. She may
You
not be
think so?
aware, like I don't think she's aware of anything else other than her mother and Vi in this situation. But yeah, I do think she's aware of Vi.
You think so? I guess I didn't really
I
think
do.
she was aware of Vi.
I just don't see a reason why to put her in color, because I feel like this is so focused on Caitlyn's perspective.
Yeah, I don't think Caitlyn. I don't. I think it's more for the audience to know that Vi is there. I don't know.
Mm.
I mean, that could be. It's an interesting way of interpreting it. I didn't consider it Caitlyn's
Hmm.
perspective, but I guess for me it was more of a main character syndrome.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe, but I don't know. I interpreted it as Vi sort of being her anchor in this moment, like being the only other thing that's really she's holding on to in this moment.
said the
I
same thing that Wolf said. That's crazy.
did I?
You did. You got a
Oh,
copyright claim. How dare you?
yeah. Sorry, Wolf. I did not mean to steal your thunder there.
I guess I can see that because I mean, there is that moment coming soon, right? When she finally lets herself cry. And we'll talk about that,
Yeah.
but she stays so strong. Like, look at her puffing her chest out,
Hmm.
holding it in as she's watching,
Hardly, but yeah, she's holding it.
holding it in just barely. But yes, because like this is why I guess I thought she didn't see Vi because Vi is always either in the crowd or in an obscure, out of the way place.
Yeah, and again, I don't think it maybe she doesn't visually see her, but she is aware of her presence. She is aware that she's there helping, like being there for her.
Okay, I guess it doesn't make too much of a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's there for her. Aw. But yeah, the charcoal effect, and then it's smooth. She doesn't cry. She still doesn't cry. She thinks about crying. She almost cries, and then smooth fade into.
Everything comes back to the focus.
Mm-hmm. All right. This is a scene that made me a bit angry.
Really?
Yeah. So because it made me angry, would you care? Would you mind
Yeah,
trying
yeah, no,
to?
go ahead.
Okay. Would you mind trying to describe it?
I mean, we'll play the scene. Like we're looking at the destruction of the entire council chamber here.
This is yeah.
Specifically, I don't know whose chair this is specifically, but the top of the chair is completely destroyed. I mean, I'm assuming it's her mother's chair. Um, you'll see Mel come up to Vi here, or sorry, to Caitlyn here. Jesus, but Mel being the first person to come and comfort Caitlyn in this situation, and at least that we see once she snaps back to reality, is interesting.
I
Out
mean, I
of all
think
people,
Mel pulls her back to present. That's not
yeah.
why. I hope you know that's not why this scene pissed me off.
No, I'm
Like,
curious as
okay,
to why it did piss you off,
why did
though.
it piss me off?
Yeah.
Okay, so our little friend, our little friend, he pissed me off.
That is fair.
He comes in with okay. He comes in with an attitude. I'd
He
say
does. He does.
an inconsiderate attitude,
Hmm.
and maybe you could argue it's justified because he's frustrated and angry at the death, right? And saying like, I can't believe that we would almost make peace. We almost were gonna
Yeah.
agree to give them what they wanted. This is unacceptable, but no more.
Especially when the entire purpose of this meeting from Mel and Caitlyn's perspective is to explain that this was one person. This was Jinx.
Yes, I think.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
for to see him immediately go, the Undercity, I can't believe we're about to deal with them, is very dismissive. But go on, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm just channeling it because he There's something about the imagery with the chair too that was kind of comedic. Like when it zooms in on the wheels, right? He's being helped by Ambessa, but
Mhm,
he's kind of saying like, "Oh, these creatures," referring to everybody
mhm.
again, grouping everybody in the Undercity into one kind of person and blaming them all for it, and not really taking any responsibility for like, "Oh, hey, how did they get like that? Did we
Yeah,
neglect people that we care about?" And he's like, "I won't have any more of this." And he says the line of "scour our basement of its demons." I think the way he talked about it was frustrating to me.
yeah, because he dismisses the reasons, and he only talks about the impact that it had on him.
Yeah, pretty much. I think. Yeah, I mean he is frustrated though because his legs no work no more.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I understand why he's frustrated, but to be so dismissive.
yes, yes. So the dismissiveness, and then on top of that, his urgency and determination to get the enforcers sent down there.
Hmm.
I guess that
To
was what was getting.
immediately
Yeah.
to immediately go to war. And wasn't he one of the ones that was against going to war when Jace called for it? Wasn't everybody against Jace in that moment?
Wait, I'm sorry. You lost me.
From
Jace
from
was
from
okay with going with war? When?
from season one. Season one.
Jace has
Where
never been.
where he's talked about invading and trying to find Silco.
Oh, I don't know if I'd
He
consider that war.
war against Silco would be war against the Undercity, no?
No, because in this scene, he's talking about invading, like sending down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, but being opposed to I guess fighting Silco, and even like because Mel even mentions like you don't know war in that scene, like everybody being so against the a direct attack until this moment. I mean, I understand why everybody's like not yeah, going in by force, I guess, is a better way to describe it. Thank you, Wolf. But yeah, like I don't know, the change in perspective because of what happens. I
Yeah,
understand it, but
I understand it, but it was pissing me off, I guess, because I saw
yeah.
that coming, and I was like, please, like, please just take a second, breathe, and listen
Mhm.
to what's going on. But he was
Yeah,
not. And
no,
but I really want to get the comedic part of him rolling up closer, because for some reason, like,
yeah, when he goes down the stairs.
it cracked me up. And I don't think it had any right to make me laugh the way it did. But like they chose to hold the camera still as
Yeah,
him.
yeah, it's so focused on it. It's so focused on it.
Maybe they focus on it on purpose to be like, hey, this is why he's angry.
Mhm.
That could have been it. But it gave me like some there's some kind of movie with a joke very similar. I think it's The Incredibles or something. I'm not sure. But
No, I think I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
really? What scene?
I think it is Incredibles. Um, is it a scene with Edna?
When she's walking, you can barely see her.
Maybe. I think I know what you're talking about. I see the scene in my head, but I don't know exactly where.
Okay, well maybe Chad will know. But I'm just being silly. I'm trying to find when he does the funny roll up.
He does it a little bit further, I believe.
Here he
Yeah.
is. Okay. Again, it is just amazing. This is like it's just I don't know. There's something about the way the camera moves with him, and it kind of looks like a Santa sleigh to me as well.
Yeah, yeah. I think the chair itself is very wobbly.
Yeah, it does focus on the wheels at one point.
Yeah. Like even when he comes in.
Okay, I'm over it. I'm so sorry. But yes, yes, yes. So this scene basically they end up having a discussion. Interestingly, Caitlyn doesn't say anything,
No, not until she's called
right?
upon.
Does she say anything? I didn't think
Yeah,
she did.
yeah, because it doesn't doesn't she mention that this was all done by one person? Isn't she the one who says that after Mel specifically asks her?
I think Mel says that out loud. I think Mel says Caitlyn told me it's just one person, but I don't think Caitlyn actually talks. I made a
Uh,
note that Caitlyn doesn't talk.
Does she not say Jinx?
Does she? Because Mel said she's just looking the whole time. Mel's kind of
It's
talking for her. Be like, right, Officer Karaman witnessed the attack firsthand.
yeah, I think it's a little. I mean, I could be crazy, but I thought it was like maybe 5-10 seconds after this,
So she says just Jinx, you think?
potentially.
Okay. Even then, oh, she does.
Yeah,
Okay, so
yeah,
she just says
just
Jinx
as
then.
Jinx. Yeah, she does not add anything else.
Just Jinx. I mean, that's actually interesting because I thought she said nothing, but saying Jinx only implies is like the one thing that is important enough for her to say. Is the one thing on her mind.
Yeah, Jinx.
Jinx. Yeah, and we can see later on she does get obsessed with that, right? So
Yeah, she very much does get obsessed. I think she is so traumatized, and she's angry.
very angry, yeah. So she just says Jinx. But yeah, so basically at the end of the scene, what the conclusion is, Mel was like, "Hey, let's not attack the Undercity with all of our enforcers." And the other two council members like, "Actually, we kind of think we should. So 2-1, screw you."
Yeah,
But Mel's
their
like,
goal is to bring down Jinx.
"Yeah,
The other two characters' goal is to bring down the Undercity.
well, the important note here is that there's also Ambessa sitting
Mm-hmm. And Bess
quietly.
is a part of this now.
Mm-hmm.
Is
It's
kind of inviting herself in.
well, she doesn't say anything
No, well, not until she says a word of advice, forming a unified front, basically telling
at
Mel
the
shut
end
up, like yeah, like shut it.
because yeah, Mel says in the beginning how oh, nice of you to help him. And I remember making a note actually about you could tell that was a double secret
Yeah,
line. Like help him. Oh yeah, sure. Like help him with the wheelchair physically move. But she meant, yeah, I know you told him things and influenced
yeah.
his thoughts.
It's more of her speaking there, but less than it. I think it is him.
She just
If
like
that
look how
makes
she
sense.
sits. She's like
Yeah,
yes, like you could
so
hear it.
powerful.
So
Yeah.
powerful. Yeah. So basically, Mel's like, okay, I guess I can't do anything about that. However, you are not using hex tech. And fortunately, the surviving council member, which I want to find a shot of her eye. So cool. She's like, I agree. So they vote 2-1 on agreeing not to use hex tech, but infiltrating the Undercity to find Silco, or not find Silco. I'm sorry, find Jinx,
Yeah.
and shut that. Shut that. Shut that. Yeah. So that scene did piss me off. I think because I was aggravated at the obvious that I knew would occur, but the whole we gotta go under in the Undercity and just I don't know. The council member, he's a stinker. He's stinky.
He is,
Yeah.
and he is. But I think it is him being
You know why he's
very
stinky? He
loyal to
can't wipe his
Ambessa.
own ass anymore, and that's why he's stinky.
True.
He's just sitting in shit all of the time.
He can't even move himself to the toilet.
No, Ambessa is not. Ambessa wouldn't do that. So
No,
no, yeah,
she's too good for that.
he's stinky. So I just don't know. I didn't like him. It's me off. Is that fair? Is that loud?
No, I think that's fair to say a lot.
Okay,
I think he's pretty stinky.
he's pretty stinky. Okay, cool, cool. Yeah. So that scene. Then we cut to something ominous. We follow Caitlyn a lot. Caitlyn's kind of becoming a main character, which is like hopefully you liked her from season 1 because
Yeah, I love Caitlyn,
we're
and
spending a lot of time with her.
I'm a little shaken by her development, but I understand it. She is very determined now.
Yes, and understandably determined too.
Yeah, yeah, he
Oh,
has lost his right to fist standing up.
oh, yeah. Okay, so this is. I took note of this. I wanted to phrase it here because we see the level of damage that the floor took and the ceiling here, and also the seating. How it's a gear, which is cool, right? Which people have already probably noticed from season 1. But all three of those things—the glass and the cracked floor, just more evidence for it should be big damage.
Yeah. Hold on. Really?
What? What's up?
Look at the one area that's kind of unscathed.
Here?
At the bottom right of it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That why is that area unscathed?
I don't know, I guess the way it came in.
Uh, but even then, who was sitting there? Out of pure curiosity, who was
Oh,
sitting
you're
there?
right, it's kind of almost like perfect circle arc
Yeah,
right here.
like a circle around that area.
Very interesting.
I don't know. I didn't notice that before, but
Yeah, it's like not even dirty. Like it's not
oh
even like
yeah,
the.
it's perfect.
It's
It's like
perfect.
the cracks stop around it. I'm so curious about that
The
now.
cracks, but also it doesn't have any of the debris.
And it extends into the inner circle where the dude in the wheelchair is now.
Weird.
Like that, it is like almost a perfect circle around that area. That is very,
I'm
very interesting.
something fishy.
If that's where Mel and Jace were,
Mm.
just saying.
Just saying. Okay,
All the other seats are empty, so I think that is.
maybe. Very interesting. I mean, I remember pausing on that, thinking it's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we are. It's raining, of course. Death, sad stuff. It's got to be raining, and we are watching Caitlyn open up mail. It's probably my perception of this was it's just a lot of apology mail or like sorry for your loss mail.
Yeah, yeah.
But maybe it's also family related mail because there's a lot of symbols like family symbols on the
Yeah.
letter.
A lot of seals.
And then we get to this ominous black letter. I
Yeah,
think we're yeah
a lot of people are saying that's for Mel and Jace were, by the way.
yeah yeah. I
So,
saw. But
yeah, but
yes, so my mail comes in.
mm-hmm.
Black letter. I go. Okay. If you're gonna send something that is top secret, right? That's like under the table, important. I would be hyper suspicious of a black letter.
Black letter with a black seal, a black wax seal.
Maybe again, this is a different world. They're just like pink and green and blue. So it seems like Arcane, it'd probably be fine. But I'm just saying, if I'm sending something that I don't want other people to see and I don't want them to be suspicious of, I'm not gonna send it in a black letter. That's all.
I would also totally send it with wax or with a wax seal, because a wax seal, how are you going to tamper with that?
That's true. You'd know if someone opened it.
Yeah.
We see it get broken. And this, should we talk about this now or later? We should talk about it later, I think.
Later.
Later. Because this, take note of this. I mean, as you probably know if you've seen all episodes, but this is important. Yes, it's setting up stuff that's going on in a little bit. So, I didn't personally recognize that symbol. Question, is that symbol... I guess mostly asking chat because you did just watch it a week ago.
I don't know.
But is this symbol something that would be well known? Because if it was already introduced in season 1, I must not have picked up on it too much. That's the problem. Okay, so she reads the letter, and then we have this really sweet moment with her dad. Her dad is going through a tough time. Just
A little bit.
just a small tough time.
Oh.
What's up?
They're saying that it's the Noxus symbol.
Yeah. I mean, I just was curious if we know it's the Noxus symbol.
At this point, yeah. I don't think explicitly.
Because, I mean, I recognize it because of outside information, but Arcane itself, I wasn't sure.
I mean, I know I for sure did not recognize it, so... At least as far as I'm aware, it was never shown in the show.
I think it's just... Well, because she does come out... I think it's so important if we're supposed to recognize it as the viewer, because since I didn't initially recognize that symbol, and I was watching it, and I go, that symbol looks really familiar, but I'm honestly not in the mood to pause and recollect... Do research or recollect, because I knew it was in my brain. I was like, what symbol is it? I think that had a consequence for me as a viewer later on, because I didn't piece things together quickly enough if I had recognized that symbol. So that's the only reason I feel like it's kind of important. I mean, you said you didn't recognize it, so you probably had a similar experience to me. But if you did know that was Noxus, do you feel like that would have changed your perception of things going forward?
Potentially. I mean, I don't know. I genuinely don't know because I don't know much about Noxus at all, other than Ambessa. But outside of her, I don't know much. So I honestly don't think it would have.
Well, I guess because of what happens at the end of what we
Yeah,
learn at the end
yeah,
of episode 3. But I'll just keep it at that for now.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
big,
I'm not
but
referencing what's happening at Noxus. I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
referencing what's happening. You know,
Hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I got it all mixed up. Yeah, so we have this sweet moment between her dad and her. Her dad is definitely struggling, and he gives her a really convoluted key. Like,
Yeah, almost
flash
like a
drive
combo lock.
USB stick, kind of
Yeah, with a combo lock on it.
combo lock, but it auto corrects itself to the correct combo lock. We'll see later. Um, I
I
also
can
thought
see.
maybe it was a lipstick, but interesting nonetheless. And this was left to her by her mother. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I thought it was very weird design, but cool design, but weird. She just kind of fiddles with it. She has, tears
Whatever.
attempting to well up still. We still haven't seen a full blown good cry, even here
I
with her
think it's
father.
important to her.
But Vi, right? And I think I've been trying to allude to the fact that she hasn't cried because of this next scene. But she finally has a moment with Vi, and this is the moment in which she allows herself to fall apart.
Yeah. And I do
And
think that's so important to like her and Vi's relationship.
yeah,
Like
I
what I was
mean,
saying earlier and Wolf said earlier
it
about
spoke.
Vi being her anchor.
Yeah, it spoke to how much they've gone closer,
Yeah,
right?
how much they bonded, how close, like just how trusting they are in each other to be this vulnerable. Caitlyn of all people.
But I want to take a close look at this one moment because I replayed it several times. You can see, you can see it. Like you can see herself finally. I don't want to say crack, but
Yeah, when she finally breaks,
mm-hmm.
when it becomes too much.
And all she says is "Hey." She's just like, "Yeah,"
Because she knows.
and then you can see like the chest poofing in and out. Yeah, it's just
Yeah, trying to
it,
hold herself back. It's like yeah, like again, like the way that Arcane does the emotion on characters' faces is just so beyond what I've seen from so many animated shows.
in the body language too. This small.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like
I
just the
agree.
small things that they do is just so well done. They very much know how to capture just the smallest movements.
And then look at the body language here too. Like Vi's almost not expecting it. Her arms out. It's
Yeah,
like kind of like a little awkward at first. And Kaylin is
yeah,
her head is engulfed into her neck. She is
very
completely like, hold me please. Like I just need
yeah.
to be held.
She wants to be as close as physically possible to Vi, and you can tell Vi doesn't know whether or not to wrap her hands around her or
I
just
think
let
she
her go.
does. She just is like taken off guard for a second. Not taken
Yeah,
off guard, but
yeah,
like it's it's such and
yeah,
then snuggle. But I also felt my one little critique was I felt not critique, but the hug for me didn't last as long as I thought it would, and it seems like only because in this moment I remember thinking she finally kind of is allowing herself to be cracked,
yeah.
vulnerable. I'm
I
I'm depressed, and I thought like when that moment happens for most people, it's kind of
lasts.
it lasts for a good sec, but she gets it
Yeah,
back together so
so
quickly.
quickly. And I don't know if that was a design choice because I know somebody mentioned that before with different countries maybe wanting to cut that out um and like making it very easy to cut that out or not.
Well, this is
So I
never.
don't.
This is just like a hug. You could still
Yeah,
interpret this
yeah.
as, if you really wanted to, you could still interpret this as friendship.
Yeah, but
Except
even still, like I'm curious because they do the same thing with the different scene later on. Like all the affectionate scenes, I feel like are very short. We don't get them. we are very cut off from them, and I dislike that about this. But but yeah, she immediately gets it back together too. Like immediately, she's back to her normal posture.
Yeah, but she's still crying even after she pulls away.
Yeah,
So I don't know. The hug was very brief. I thought maybe I don't know. I thought maybe it would last long.
yeah. We were hoping, but we don't get good things.
A realistic duration hug would have lasted the whole episode. And you
Real.
know what? LP, I would have actually liked to have watched that. I would
Yeah.
have been completely fine.
Would have maybe saved you a nap after episode 2.
Yeah, but maybe it is. Maybe it speaks to her character. Maybe it speaks to she's not letting herself have that moment, even if
Yeah,
she really wants to take it.
she is very steadfast.
And then I remember gasping. I gasped at this next line. Do you know? Do you know why I gasped at this next line?
If it's the line I think it is.
It's because yeah, Powder's dead,
Yeah, Jinx is taken over.
and I went no way. Like, well, not no way, but
And
you know,
I did discuss this with Home. I don't believe that Vi believes that.
really.
I don't. I think that she, in this moment, in every moment that follows us, every time that she mentions, because she says it a lot, that Powder is dead. But like, I don't think that she believes it because, and I think she's in denial about it. Like, I think she's trying her hardest. Like, I think there's like the internal, I don't believe it, but I'm going to say it outwardly because everybody, because I can't deny it. And especially to Kate, if she keeps denying it, she's going to ruin her relationship with Kate. And I feel like that's pretty consistent for Vi throughout, even the next few episodes, without getting into any spoilers, is
Mm-hmm.
very much, she'll put her own feelings aside in order to hold on to this relationship, and just into her relationships in general. She will break her own code and morph herself into what she needs to be to kind of fulfill that relationship. And it's something that I really want to talk about when we get to, I think it's episode 3. I
Okay.
can't wait to talk about it. But it's something I really want to go in depth with. But that has been Vi's. And I think the reason I want to talk about it so bad is because I'm a very similar way myself.
Okay.
But morphing herself to fit others' expectations is what I feel like she's doing here, and I relate to her so much. Yeah,
So I
yeah,
think
I think she's trying to believe it is. I agree.
I think that's what I would. Without getting into spoilers, I think there are actions she takes that can be perceived as I never fully believed that what I was saying right here,
Mm-hmm.
or it could be flip flop, or it could also be I think maybe convincing herself kind of idea.
Yeah,
And see,
I think she's trying to convince herself. I think that's a big part of it, but
mm.
I still don't believe that she believes it.
Oh, like her face powder's gone. You know what? I think two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah,
I th-
absolutely.
Here's my point of view. I think she fully believes powder's gone. I think what she's saying here is my little sister is not my little she's not a little sister anymore. So when she says the lines like you're not my sister anymore, I don't think she believes that. But when she says the line powder's gone, I think she 100% believes what she's saying here. And I think that's why it's convincing to me because I think she's recognizing that so much has happened that there is nothing she can physically do to return her sister to that state of youth and innocence
Yeah,
and being protected. So, yeah, maybe she's trying to convince herself of believing the full story because part of it is factually correct. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Okay. Well, interesting. I'll definitely talk about it.
Yeah, like a two-faced kind of statement there. Kind of like Silco like just likes to do.
Comparing? Did you just compare her to. No.
No, not
No.
comparing them, but the one line of dialogue compared to how Silco always speaks.
You did not just compare Vi to Silco. Crazy. But yeah, so basically throughout this conversation, she's like, I can make it right, like, I don't want anybody else to get hurt, kind of thing. And Caitlyn's like, we're sending the enforcers down, and the big, the big moment for saying, "Will you wear an enforcer suit?" Basically, she doesn't ask literally in that way, but you,
Will you put on the badge? Will you put
you,
on the suit?
mm-hmm.
It's ugh. And
And
the line here I mentioned earlier does kill me. The line that Vi says.
which line? I'm sorry.
You didn't think at all.
You didn't think at all. Yeah, yeah. Thought you were on our side, then you didn't think at all. I think what struck me as insensitive too from Caitlyn was saying, uh, like I was like, I watch you kill my parents. I think she says that, right? And then she's like, yeah, I know how that feels. She's, you know what I'm trying to say? That moment,
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, I
yeah.
know how it feels. Like, wait, it's not the same thing though. Like, why are we?
No,
It's not the same.
because this is to if this were flipped, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is Vi asking Kate to side with Jinx after what just happened. If we really want to flip the situation, because you're asking Vi in this moment to side with the people that killed her parents.
Yeah.
Like, and I understand that it's a lot more fresh and a lot more traumatic and a lot more direct impact with Jinx, but that it's very parallel there. You're asking her to turn against her own family to
Well,
and
everything
join
she's
up with the
thought
people who
too
killed her
up
family.
to this point,
Yeah,
everything that's
yeah,
motivated her, like she's been really motivated by hating the enforcers a lot too up to this point.
yeah,
You know, she makes fun of them with her friends. It's like, here they
yeah,
come. Um, and she hates everything they represent. I think she hates what the suit represents to her, and like putting that on is more than just a I'm wearing a protective layer of armor. It's like, oh, this is something that I wholeheartedly go against. So
yeah,
in this moment, I during my reaction commentary, I was like, yeah, uh, this is how before Vi's reaction, I was like, oh, no way, we're gonna give Vi an enforcer suit. And mind you, I hadn't seen any trailers, but I was like, we're gonna give Vi an enforcer suit. This is how you work for it as a writer. Like, you make your way here. And I hit play, and Vi's like, you didn't think at all. And like runs away, very upset. I was like, oh damn. So we get in a scene soon that helps creep her, because wait, Vi needs to be pushed really far to get her in that,
yeah.
right? And she gets enough experiences where, like, all right,
I do. Hold on, I have to mention that Wolfer once again saying the
yeah.
same thing. Yeah,
Is Wolf just you have an earpiece in, and Wolf just like hears.
yeah, yeah. I think so. I think Wolf is just feeding me information as we go.
Okay, okay. So to continue on, we get that kind of moment of them coming close and them going apart, which we saw in the intro. So there's going
Yeah,
to be a lot of conflict between them because they really, really care about each other and have perspective and respect for each other. But at the same time, there's a lot of personal values that and experiences that aren't necessarily coincide. So
yeah. And again, this next scene that we're gonna see is Vi really being willing to change her values in order to hold on to the people that she loves.
this next scene, she chucks a
Sorry,
alcoholic
no,
bottle.
sorry. Scene for proceeding this scene, I guess, but like it's all technically one big scene.
Did you say the whole episode is technically one big scene?
No, no. I'm talking about like the next like 5 or 10 minutes,
Oh,
which is also not true. But
okay.
oh, and
Okay.
I guess they do a cut in between, huh?
It's fine. It's okay. Everything's one scene if you think about
I
it.
watched it like 12 hours ago. Okay, it's not fresh.
So this scene was the crying in the rain. Well, not crying. I don't think she's actually crying, but walking in the rain, feeling real depressed, feeling like angry, thinking, sinking down, and then chucking a bottle at some dude
It's a
by
dude.
accident. I don't think it was on purpose for my
No, he was covered
perception.
in trash.
Yeah.
I don't even. She didn't know he was there.
No, she did not know that he was there. And he's like, she said sorry. That made me laugh. So, oh, Also, I completely forgot, chat. I needed to admit something to you guys, and also to you, Colin. I don't know what kind of person this makes me, but after, let's see, minute 5 minutes and 30 seconds in, right?
Mhm.
As right as the funeral Caitlyn scene is ending, I had to pause to blow my nose and wipe my tears away. I was like, damn, I'm 5.5 minutes in and I'm already crying. I'm not gonna make it through this season. Because I don't know. It was so impactful that I was already
It is.
sobbing. But I didn't sob a single other time so far. That was my only sob.
Mhm.
I don't know if that makes me weak. I think it makes me strong. Yeah.
Uh,
Hands
uh,
around my hips, I'm
throughout the
strong.
rest of the arc, you didn't cry, you didn't even shed a tear.
No, no other tears were shed.
Wow.
But like I
I
think all of my tears
I
were
did.
shed. Really?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say which specific scene, but there were a few.
I think because I rewatched that scene so many times for the music, I like sobbed all of my tears out, and then that's why episode 2 I was dead. I was like numb, and then I took my nap, and then episode 3 I was kind of, I don't know, like distant and dissociated. So maybe I did it to myself.
Maybe I don't know, especially and not all of them were sad tears. I will say.
Really? You had happy
Yeah,
tears?
not happy tears either. But just like emotionally charged moments that weren't weren't actually
Stressful
no.
tears?
I guess I would call it
Dude, you
happy.
went up like 8 octaves there. Oh my
I
god.
don't know. I don't know. I guess I would call one of them happy,
Okay.
but it's happy for a very odd reason, and I can't go into depth about it.
Okay, we'll talk about it. I promise. I promise.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, but yeah, so I wanted to let you guys know that I did genuinely cry. And I kind of was laughing at myself, like, I don't know. I was like, wow, I cried. Cool. Cool beans. Yeah, so Vi is. This guy becomes kind of important, actually. I thought at first he was just some random dude, but he.
Oh no, I won't even lie. As soon as I saw this man sit down next to me, I went, "Whoa, let's go! We're introducing new characters."
Yeah?
Yeah, I knew this guy was gonna come through. I love him immediately.
I don't know. Maybe it's
I love
because
the look of him.
you love the look at him? Look of
I
him?
lo-
No,
I
okay.
love the look of
No,
him.
no, no. His nose does
I
not.
love
No, no,
the
no.
look of him.
You love look. Dude, he's no. Okay, he just goes from his nose to his forehead. There's
Yeah, he
no.
does. I love the look of him. I love his beard. I love the mutton chops. I love him. The mutton chops to a goatee. Love him.
Okay, okay.
He is so him. He is so himself.
Well, I don't know if. Yeah, I guess you're not familiar, but when I was doing all of my League of Legends lore exploring, there's a character from Shadow Isles that looks kind of similar to him. And I was like, or not Shadow Isles, I'm sorry, Bilgewater. And I thought maybe it was him because he's also wearing blue, and I don't know, my brain kind of just was
You're,
frantically
I see
wanting.
you with Victor's mask in the beginning. You with this. You're really just trying
No,
to
I
create
wasn't trying. My brain was trying for me. And I was like, all right, relax. It's probably not that. And almost every time it's not been that. It's never been that. So it's whatever. But yes, I was like, no way. They're building in Bilgewater? That's crazy. But yes, his nose goes to his forehead. And I feel like breathing air directly into your brain like that, it gotta be so uncomfortable.
No, that's empowering. Your brain is oxygenated.
mm, but he does look cool.
He does. I love him.
You love him?
I love him. He's so cool to me. I don't know why. He doesn't even do that much, but I just love him. Like for a scene later on in this episode too.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, I love him. I love him.
All right, I'll let you love him. That's fine. He offers a drink to
I
Vi, and Vi starts
yeah,
drinking.
like with so little being said from him and like so little screen time, I can tell so much about his character.
Really?
Yeah, just through the actions that he takes. I don't know. There's just I feel like he had I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading way too into this guy, but I love him. I love his values almost. Like I want to say I love his values because like he just seems like a person who's willing to protect other people and just willing to give like he's just trying to to comfort people. Like in that moment, he tries to comfort Vi. In a later scene in this episode, so I don't feel bad saying this.
That's fine.
Like
Go ahead.
he's the first one to jump to the front lines to protect somebody out of
Yes.
nowhere. He does not know these people.
You know what? I
Like,
really want to get to that because I don't have a lot of time left before I have to go. So let's kind of speed run, not speed run, but pick up pace and get to the part that blew me away the most. So our next scene here is Viktor being, oh gosh, I don't really want to speed through this though because it's something to look at. Jace is distraught, and it's because we get a look at what's happening with Viktor for the first time.
mhm.
I did have a
Also,
question. Sorry, go ahead.
no. I'm just saying, Taylor, don't say that.
What spoiler in the chat? Oh,
No. Just predictions, I guess. She said, I honestly love Shield Bro, Fishman, and Maddie. They're so cute and going to die horrifically. Don't say that.
no, don't say that. We
I
don't.
love them. I love them. Don't you dare. Don't wish that upon them.
Well, I think if anything, there's been a lot of. Well, we'll see. We'll see. But yes, so this this is the reveal. Ew, but
Yeah.
cool. So when he was on the table, yeah, and then the hexcore kind of combines with him. I was confused how he ended up in this contraption.
So was I.
Still kind of confused, honestly, but my interpretation of it is the hexcore melded with the table and kind of made this chamber for him to survive in. I don't know what else I could perceive it as because I don't think Jace would have made this. Maybe he could have, but I don't know.
So quickly? Yeah, I don't know.
So I would love to know other people's opinions. I'm probably gonna ask my Discord honestly, but this was really confusing to me. Is like the chamber itself, the tank that he's in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it. It was creepy. It was organic. It did feel magical, and it was.
I do love how alive the Hexcore feels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it made
Even
me
in this
think
moment.
of like the sticky little octopus things that they have on there.
This is very weirdly, maybe this is a strange connection to draw. I don't know if anybody has watched Dragon Ball Z, but the healing pods they have in that show are very reminiscent of this, where they're kind of just sitting in a pod being healed by the juices around them. I don't know. It's very. I don't know why I draw that connection, but I'm drawing that connection to this.
Hold up, I just found the picture. It actually kind of is reminiscent. What the heck? I mean, you could also say it takes inspiration from Wolverine or I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of things. Shh, top secret. That's kind of my top secret.
Yeah. Very. I don't know. I don't know why I'm drawing that connection, but it's like, yeah, him being just healed through this.
Yeah, but very organic. I like how they made the
Mhm.
magic seem
Almost alive. Believe me, believe me. With the tournament yesterday, we saw your big crush on Victor. It rejects her almost. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Okay, good. That was this episode. Thank God. I thought it was giving a lot away. Yeah. Okay. Um. Wait. Yeah. Hello? I mean, I can hear you. Yeah, but I can't hear you on stream. No. Uh, yeah, no, no. So he's not trying to be silly. uh, you have not come back. You have not come back. Yeah. They can hear me, which is insane. Yeah, no. So he just tried to give you guys a number to say, and obviously you guys are not typing out that number. I'm Yeah, I don't know. It's just not picking up your audio, but it's picking up every other audio. This is tragic. This is tragic. You and technology. Oh no. No, not even mic issues. I think this is a Streamlabs issue. This is unfortunate. Guys, I can't I guys, I can't carry this by myself. You don't understand. Uh, oh my god, what is it? What is it to talk about this scene? Okay, actually, no, I did want to. Okay, you know what? Now that I have the floor, I did want to. I did want to. Can I? Am I able to jump through this myself? Okay. I want to bring us back to that thing that I caught earlier about. Oh, but I want to go back to the circle. Um. Okay. Whatever. Okay. So, well, I guess we're not jumping back to it because Silly's making it so that I'm not allowed. But uh, back in talking about that circle again, where when it shows the overhead of the explosion. Yeah. When yeah. No, yeah, no. I want to talk about this real quick though. But in this scene, Jay says, "I don't understand. Like Victor was right next to me. How am I unscathed? But he's like this." When it shows that overhead of the circle, I'm very curious as to specifically where Jace was sitting because that circle that we looked at a little earlier does end at a very specific point at the end of like one of the chairs. And if that is where Jace's chair ends and Victor was sitting right next to him, he was perfectly outside of that unscathed circle. I don't know. It's just a lot of I don't know what that could mean. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Specifically
Testing,
from whoever.
testing,
Oh,
testing.
hold on. Is Silly back?
Testing, testing.
N- oh, yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah. You're back.
No, wait. I did nothing.
Okay.
I did nothing. How do you know I'm back? Are you sure I'm back?
I think so. I hear you.
You should be
Hello.
okay. Oh,
Oh, I have the stream up. I unmuted the stream.
yay! I did it. Okay,
All
so we're
right.
still learning things. Okay, we're back. We're back.
All right. All right. Thank God.
Thank
Thank
you for
God.
carrying. I appreciate
Uh
you.
huh. Yeah. Carrying. That's me. Yeah. You guys could have gotten my occasional for like 30 minutes straight and said nothing. Yeah. I started going on my own. I start trying to carry the show, and Silly is just bringing me down, telling me, no, not allowed to carry it that way. It's crazy. It's crazy what you guys didn't hear.
Just pause on it for so long.
Oh God. Oh no. Yeah, I think you did because I see your green bubble move it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, guys, this time she knows that she did it.
Wait, is it good now? Is it okay now?
Uh, hold on. Yeah, you're good now. You're good now.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Okay,
so I
okay,
found the button that does the problem, which is good.
okay. At least we solved that issue. I feel like this should have been a yesterday thing, but you know what? At least we
It's
figured it out
it's
today.
silly stream number 4. I'm not gonna be a professional after 4 streams. Okay? I need some slack. I need some slack. I mean, or no slack.
Guys, cut her zero slack.
Okay. Alright.
She cut me zero slack.
Well, I don't have push to talk. I just have problems with my stream
Technology.
labs. Yes. Basically, I'm an SCP that technology hates, and my friends don't let me touch their tech because of it. All right, so intimate moment. Viktor's in the goo. Goo's kind of cool looking. I think those are the main points.
Yep. Yeah, the goo's cool.
Okay.
Move on.
Now we have this beautiful imagery with the flowers is very strong.
Yeah, especially
there
this
was
episode and just in general with this first arc.
where there was the end, roughly the end of season 1. There was a lot of imagery with those mechanical butterflies, and the firelights. I kind of like how there are flowers now. It feels similar, like it's a beautiful thing, but then turned into this kind of sad loss of some kind. Yeah, so this scene. Did I just make myself stop talking
No.
again?
Oh no.
Sorry. Okay, it's fine. Just let me know.
Yeah, you totally did.
Oh.
Okay, you're back now. Yeah, you're back now. You did for a minute. Oh my lord.
I'm sorry. Okay, so this
Stop
scene.
being a pun-
Just stop. It's not that easy. It's complicated. I can't even begin to describe it. So, yes, there's this beautiful tree. It really reminded me. Minnie, don't yell at me. It really reminded me of the Elden Ring area. If you guys have played it.
Which Elden Ring area?
The only beautiful Elden Ring area that's like peaceful.
The only beautiful area in Elden Ring. Hold on.
No, I mean beautiful as in like looks like this with the flowers and everything.
Maybe I'm just drawing a blank, but
I'm sorry. I thought you played it, Elden Ring.
No, I did. I played the hell out of it. I'm lost.
I think it was can't remember what it was called. It was like that peaceful area of all flower fields, and there's like the tree in the middle.
Oh.
Yeah. Shrama? No, Sharman Village. Sham-Man Village. Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So, that's all. Not like it matters. Anyway,
No,
so
yeah, but good reference, good connection.
that's what my
Like
brain
my
did.
Drag-
And then
like my Dragon Ball Z pod.
yeah, like a Dragon Ball Z thing. So we get this beautiful color, all of that stuff, and then the petals fall to the ground, and the ground is covered in. I perceive them to die when they hit the ground. They kind of seem to like shrivel up and not be. Maybe I see that wrong, but there's something about the coloration of the ground that made like this here. Maybe it's not dead. It just looks loss of color. It looks darker. Not sure actually. Now I'm seeing it again. You think this is dead? No, I don't think they're dead now.
I do. The way that they're specifically. Do you see the one that's kind of wilting to the right side of the screen? Yeah, your mouse. Well, I guess I'm a few seconds behind on your stream, but I was gonna say your mouse was hovering over it for a second. But yeah, like it does seem like they're kind of dead and wilting.
Okay, I guess.
I do see this as her getting lost again.
That's a good way of putting it.
And like as they fall to the ground, they kind of lose their color.
Wrong one. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's just okay. I guess I can't tell if they're dying or not. And then we see her fixation on Jinx. The scene was important, I think, for setting up how bad. Not bad's the right word, but how
how
Consumed?
determined she is.
That's a
Yeah,
good one too. She is with the Jinx getting
yeah,
revenge,
she absolutely does become consumed with this.
focusing on getting that shot, and then she gets interrupted by Jace being like, "Hey, how are you
Yeah,
doing?"
who snaps her out of it again? Well, not again, but like somebody else snaps her out of it now.
Yeah, and again, very, very beautiful. Like, this is just a beautiful place. I was kind of
It is.
surprised that such a beautiful place existed privately to her, and I think that let me know as a viewer her level of wealth. She seemed very wealthy.
Yeah,
If you have
yeah.
access to this place and you're like, hey, me and my mom would go here just to hang out and we never argued when we were here,
Hmm.
like, this is phenomenal to have to yourself. Uh,
Yeah, it is very zen, very, very tranquil here. It's such a pretty place.
and Chad, keep in mind this thing right here, okay? This beautiful wind turbine thing that blows around the petals. Just, just, just
Hmm.
take a note of that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
for no reason.
For no reason. No, not at all.
Anything important? I feel like there is important stuff that is exchanged here. Oh yeah, okay. I liked this. This was one little detail that I picked up on that I thought was very pretty and important. She's talking to Jace about her mind, and she keeps seeing three things, and the wind picks up and the petals are blowing around. She sees her mom dead. She sees Jinx laughing. Then I'm trying to find it perfectly. And I see Vi. The wind or vent covers shut here,
Mhm.
and the petals fall. And I loved that mixed
Yeah,
with the
it's
emotional and mental turmoil,
yeah, the anger compared to Vi being again her anchor who kind of just
calming
calms
her.
her down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a small thing that they did. I don't even know if it's, that noticeable, but it's a thing that beautifully parallels with her emotional state towards those two
Yeah.
things. Very nice, very nice. And Jace is like, "Hey, Victor's not doing so good." Did he say that to her here? Yeah, it might be. Does he say to her here anything about Victor?
Uh does he?
Let's see. I don't think. No, yeah, he does.
Okay.
Because they have that conversation before about how's Victor's just never doing good, is he? Remember
No,
in
he's
season one,
never.
he's like, "How's Victor doing?"
Yeah, no, he's never quite on his 2 feet.
Well,
Well, maybe for a few minutes there, but not his own.
let's see. I think there was a line I wrote down a minute that I want to make sure I get, because it was the way she talked was very poetic.
Mhm.
Yeah, there it is. She says, Caitlyn here and says this line, that every fiber of me just sinks like a stone swallowed in dark water. And then she said too, I want to tear that laugh from her throat. Okay, Kate, you're getting a little angry there. Okay. And then her line of, I just understand now how easy it is to hate them. One vicious act, right? And that's what we were debating yesterday. Remember the reason I liked her over Jace was because she seemed to stick to, she was like such an actual listen, she's a real listener, like a real
Yeah.
full listener. Like, I'm going to listen and I'm going to hear your experiences and I'm going to actually take them into all of my considerations, and I'm not going to make stereotype judgments. I'm
Mhm.
going to stay completely fair to everything that I know. And I love that she stood on that principle. And that line right there was speaking to, I understand now how it's easy to hate them, one vicious
Yeah.
act. And that means she's kind of acknowledging, she's super insightful. She's acknowledging on one hand that it could very easily corrupt her, I think. She sees
Yeah.
it, right? She sees that potential in her, but she's aware of it, so she's able to kind of not allow that to happen for now.
For now.
For now. Or maybe.
Yeah. I feel like that kind of thing can consume you. Kate is such an interestingly developed character, especially over this newest season.
She's making choices.
Yeah, she's making choices, that's for sure. Well, is she?
Nah, making choices. We'll just continue on. So then our next scene. I think I covered everything I wanted to talk about in that scene for now. But yeah, her lines there were very poetic, and she felt like very insightful. She's a very insightful character, and the scene was beautiful. Then we cut to Vi because she says something about like, "Oh yeah, I tried to get Vi to wear the badge. Vi's not gonna do it," and Jason's like, "Yeah, of course it's Vi. Like Vi's not gonna do that." And then we see that she's kind of completely inebriated, maybe. We've got a lot of colorful bottles around, and she's just in the fountain, or the dude's in the fountain.
The dude's in the fountain, yeah, yeah.
And she's
my,
just
my boy. He's just trying to take a nap, and she's yapping.
Yep. So she's like, I'm just trying to talk. I need to talk. She needs therapy, really, but
yeah, this is her therapy. Look, she got her head kicked up and everything, laid down in the chair. The chair being his ankle.
It's such a funny scene. It's so cute.
Yeah, him poking at him.
Then we have there's that fish movie where like the woman makes love to the fish man. Oh yeah, you wouldn't know that. Chat, help me out.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
There is a movie. I swear I'm not crazy.
I'm sure there is. There's a lot of movies out there.
But there's like, I think it's the something water. Oh, the water's in it. It came out like 5.
The Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water. Thank you. You're the best, MK. I really appreciate you. Yes.
MK, MLT.
MLT? Oh. My eyes. It's really tiny font. Yes, it won an Oscar. It was good. It was good. Or was it? I don't know. Anyway, so it's been so long. But basically, I saw him and my brain could not. It could not stop thinking of Shape of Water. I don't know. I know he doesn't even look really that similar. It's just a blue man, and that's really harsh of me to just.
No, he is very fishman. The Preston nose, the ears,
the
kind
gills.
of being, the gills.
So
he is very much fishman.
Okay, I appreciate you giving me that grace because I feel like
I mean, even earlier, I forget who it was. Taylor, I think it was Taylor because I yelled at her. Who said that she said shield guy, fishman, and Maddie. I mean, I think we all kind of agree that this is fishman.
So yeah, my brain couldn't get it out of my head that like he fricked with a girl because my brain kept thinking that it was, you know, the movie guy, and my brain was like, I don't like this guy's kind of, I don't know. So, but
I like him.
I know I like him too, but you know, just
yeah.
You haven't seen that film, so if you saw that film, you might feel a little differently. Okay, I'm glad that. Okay, so people had said that chat said they saw that too. Their mind went there too. Okay, good. I just wanted to see if anybody else had that experience. Good. So this is a cute little scene. We see that, and we meet some new characters. Junior Officer Nolan, I think. Maddie,
potentially.
Maddie and Nolan.
But I do love specifically her design, the brightness in her eyes.
She has that youth. Like, I'm excited.
Yeah, she is what the enforcer, like in my mind, she is what the enforcers should be, like what they should stand for. Like she just seems so excited to be in her role, to have an opportunity to protect people.
She seems very genuine.
Yeah, I love her. Like I love all these little characters that they introduce.
So basically, Vi's like thinking that she's gonna get kicked off or whatever because she's like, you know, drinking there, but she learns that from these enforcers that the enforcers, sorry, I'm like hiccuping and trying to control it, that the enforcers think she's going to join them because of what Caitlyn said and vouched for when they were talking. So this kind of changes. This helps edge Vi in that direction. I think it's an important small scene, but it establishes connections for a moment later on, and also I think that was important for Vi to hear that. Yeah, for sure.
That Caitlyn was so willing to stand up for her.
Definitely. Like she made a scene or something like that. She made a scene about you, and she's like, "Oh, really? Dang, okay." Yeah, so Fishman basically is the most important thing I saw in that one. And then she shakes her hand, which was a good slow cross.
Yeah, this scene is what made me really love all three of these characters. They all have their own little unique personalities.
Ooh, that's a good point. That the M, not MK, that in chat ML, that it bothers them that Vi doesn't say Marcus saved her life. Maybe she doesn't view it that way. Like maybe she views it as like, you stopped me from getting to my sister, and almost blames. I could see her blaming Marcus and not really being grateful to Marcus at all for that.
Yeah, I could see resentment for that. Even though, like, I could see her pushing the blame off of herself into Marcus.
Yeah, because she wanted to get there, and I guess maybe you could view it. I don't know. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
but we could. That's this. We have to wait. Okay. So yes, this is the moment. This next big scene. I'd say this is the next big set, right? This is like the kind of like the second half of the episode.
yeah,
This is a big set moment.
yeah. I did not realize how early this scene happens. Like,
yeah. So this is why I think it's my favorite episode so far. I loved this scene. I don't think I was expecting narratively for such a moment to occur so soon. So to set up this scene for you guys, Mel's giving a speech, saying how it's an honor and it's a privilege to serve as a counselor. And Vi, because of the conversation she just had with those nice friendly enforcers, is there in the crowd. And Vi kind of starts noticing some weird things going on. This is the little girl that we saw earlier with the red bow and the pink flower. And long story short, we see a mysterious man in an enforcer uniform, right? Vi looks over, notices this.
I do love how quickly Vi picked up on this.
Yeah. And we get several shots showing us how many people are there too, which is important for, when things go down. But she looks over and she sees. You guys might recognize it, honestly. I recognize
the symbol on the neck,
symbol, like the tattoos and stuff. And she's trying to get through. And basically, this scene's a terrorist attack. It ends up being a terrorist attack, motivated by a character that. Okay, wait. Okay, can you see totally why for a second when he's flashed on the screen, I thought this was his actual head?
Yeah, I could. I did not think the same thing. I could see how you could mistake it though.
No, but like it was just for a second that he's shown.
Yeah,
so I was
yeah,
like, oh.
yeah.
Like, and then once I saw this head, I was like, oh, okay, it wasn't his actual face.
You're like, damn.
But yes, so basically, I'm still hiccuping. I'm just trying really hard to hide it. Hopefully,
I haven't heard any. So
really
good for you.
Good.
Yeah, good job.
I'm just like crushing my esophagus each time.
I don't know. I don't know if they have, but.
But so yeah, basically, we are hearing Mel's speech. Mel's speech is moving. I'd say a very nice speech. She's saying, who we lost, counselor. I like how they end. I think they ended specifically on Counselor Kierman. That was a nice little small writing choice. And then the statue reveal is quite the statue. They have very long bodies.
Yeah.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd almost feel like they're like cloaked. But yeah, the base of it is very long.
Very long. Very long. And yeah, I just liked her speech, but while the speech is going on,
I do like that though. It kind of makes them seem like they're above them, like they're above everybody else. They're kind of looking down on them, which could be
hmm,
double edged. It could be you could interpret it that as looking down on them in a negative way, or looking down on them as a watchful kind of sentinel sense.
yeah, this guy doesn't even care. He's just nope. But yeah, so there's kind of a little bit of foreshadowing in Mel's speech. She says like we've suffered a terrible blow, and I'll assure you, the rule of law prevails in Piltover. And then, you know, 2 lines later, she's like, "We'll find who's responsible." We get the reveal. Do you want to do the reveal? I mean, I'll take it if you don't want to do the reveal.
I'm sorry, I was reading the chat. What was the
It's
last
okay.
sentence?
The reveal of like who was motivated, or this current reveal of who motivated this attack.
Oh, I mean, you can take that because
Okay.
I forget her name.
Oh, that's okay. Um, she's the green
Uh-huh.
tube lady.
Yeah. You know, I feel disrespectful not knowing her name. Hold on.
I have no
I
sleep,
mean,
so
I'm sure that the
green
chat
tube
will
lady I
fill
think
it.
does it fine.
Is her name Rennie?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Rennie?
Rennie?
Rennie? Am I crazy?
Maybe. Wait, you could be right and be crazy too.
I mean, yeah, I think I am crazy, but that's a different story.
Yeah, so basically we get the reveal that the green tube lady who lost her son because Jace was going off on a shooting spree. Not shooting spree, but yeah, I'm just being hyperbolic here.
Mhm.
That's why this is all, well, partially we find out later. But yes. This is it right here. We get this quote unquote enforcer with the tattoo on his neck going up onto the stage. Vi is desperately trying to get onto the stage, and we realize it's happening in slow motion.
Losing a loved one.
Yeah. And I was wondering at this point too, do you think Vi is still inebriated at all? Or is Vi cool?
Well, how long was this after? I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so because I mean, do we realistically know how long this was in between the last season?
Nah,
No.
I guess we don't. I mean, at least
Yeah,
I don't.
and I feel like she would probably. I feel like it would be a little disrespectful to show up to this inebriated,
Yeah. Okay, okay.
even if she was down in the
There's just so
dumps.
many bottles that I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, we get this slow turnaround. I was confused that she was not just shot. Okay? But that makes sense later as to why Mel was
Yeah,
not
yeah,
just shot.
yeah. But I was very confused on that too.
But if you as a viewer were like, hey, why wasn't Mel just shot in the head if that was what they were going for? That's a very good question, and not something to forget going forward.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was not an efficient thing, but when you learn the later information of what was actually happening there with other third parties, it was not supposed to be that efficient.
yeah.
This is cool though. Loved her imagery. I loved her muscles. Let's go. Like, because I kind of viewed her as annoying from season 1, but
Yeah, I
I
kind of viewed her as very frail as well,
yeah, but the muscles took me a bit by surprise. And
specifically because of her little oxygen tubes.
is that oxygen? I don't know if
No, it's not oxygen, but like that's how I interpreted it, and like
Hmm.
that's what made me view her as very frail.
I mean, props to her. She's motivated to get revenge.
Yeah,
And her chainsaw. Well, we have so much to talk about. Actually, this is a crazy sequence, but yeah, she's motivated to get revenge. She's kind of badass here, honestly, and like giving me Doctor Ock energy
Mm.
when I initially saw her. And then that was first off hilarious gun. then it goes. I was like, that's my first thought, right? I go,
Yeah, yeah.
hilarious gun.
Why do you have an arrow at the end of your gun?
And then I was like, oh, it's not a gun. Why
It's
is he pointing it at her? You know? Then things will make sense later, but I was just kind of confused.
Yeah.
So then, if you recall a line from season 1, very first episode, Powder says, I'll ride in one of those one day. Or Vi.
Yeah.
And I'll shoot one down.
Yeah, was it?
You know what I'm talking about when they're
Yeah,
standing
yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
rooftops?
When they're on the roof and they watch one go over.
I just thought that was interesting because they only show a few seconds of a blip up in the air when the Juggernauts come down here. But you can clearly see that it has drawing on it. It's got like a face. To me, that looked like a Jinx blip.
Yeah, it does. I didn't notice that actually.
Really? Oh, maybe I could be wrong then. I could have totally.
No. I didn't notice that it had a face on it in general.
Yeah, I think that's a face. I think there's doodles on there.
Yeah, there definitely is. There 100%. I agree.
Yeah.
I just hadn't noticed it before. No.
She in episode 1, season 1 was like, I'm gonna ride in one of those one day.
And then it was Milo who said he was gonna shoot it down.
Yeah, Milo said it. Yeah, yeah, because he puts his 2 fingers up.
Yeah.
Yes. But so we don't actually see more of this blip at all throughout this episode, but I only feel like I can conclude it has to be. But then I realized I'm not sure if she is when we learn stuff from episode 3. But then
yeah, and I also just don't think that Jinx would work with these people.
I guess I just don't. I don't know how they'd get access to this. I don't know. I was kind of confused. The blip confused me, honestly. I kind of went in like 6 different directions with this because of the air shaft.
Yeah.
Shaft. Let's go.
The air shaft.
The air shaft.
No, I don't think Jinx was had any part in this, but I do maybe think that was the intention.
Okay, so do you think the intention was to throw off the viewers and like who was in charge here?
Maybe.
Because
it was Jinx who did all this, and Jinx is a very well-known name at this point. So to make it seem like she's taking this further, and that she is kind of like the big boss of the underground, is a very good thing to do if you want to turn people against specifically Jinx, but even the Undercity. Like if you want to turn an entire society against the Undercity, the best way to do it is to create a martyr and try to burn that martyr down. Especially one that represents the Undercity.
Yeah, so like we know later on that this has nothing to do with Jinx.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
But I think maybe from a writer's perspective, they wanted you to misinterpret or mislead you or make you think about what's happening in a different way so that the later on reveal is a bit, I don't know, more interesting or more surprising.
And even if it wasn't from a writer's perspective, in that sense, I do think it could be a writer's perspective in just the political sense of the world that they're in. Because the people at the memorial are going to see this blimp and relate this to Jinx. Not only us.
I don't think they saw the blimp because they were confused how they got in.
Were they?
Yeah, there was a line later on in the scene where they were confused how they got in.
Oh, okay.
Unless I am misunderstanding.
I mean, but also a giant blimp floating through the sky. I feel like that's kind of hard to miss.
I agree, but I remember thinking, I could again be wrong, but there was a line towards the end of this scene in general where I was like, huh. Maybe they did see it. I don't know, chat?
Oh, the one was about the assassins?
Was it about the assassins?
Oh, yeah. How they got into the memorial. I think I know what sign you're talking about now. And yeah, I do think it has to relate to the assassin because I feel like the blimp would be pretty hard to miss. But like say like
Thank you.
saying that people like with the thought of people did see this blimp, they would very easily relate it to Jinx, especially if there were those doodles on it.
I don't think there are. Now I'm looking at it. I'm like,
Yeah, it kind of
it
looks
just
a
has a
part of
mouth.
it.
Okay, it just has an
It
aesthetic
is just
mouth that
about.
opens up. Like what? Like,
Maybe we're just way overthinking this. I don't know.
well, you don't. Okay, listen. First off, you don't have to agree with me. You can just be like, silly, you're wrong. I didn't see any doodles. But like
I no,
my.
I didn't see any doodles, but
Okay,
looking at it in that scene, and you saying it, I could see it.
you could see how I saw doodles.
I could see the doodles. I just didn't pay enough attention to it. But now looking at this, I don't know if that's true.
But first off, why would you design a? Okay, who else would design an airship? Okay, all of her little bombs had like teeth like that, you know. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
guess my brain associated everything with Jinx, and I was like, oh, Jinx is here.
yeah.
But then I was like, oh, but Jinx isn't here. It threw me. This is my experience. Everybody views things differently, but my experience was I was misled into kind of thinking Jinx oriented this, orchestrated this for a bit. Because we don't really know at this point. It's episode 1, right? We don't know what's happening in Zaun right now. We don't know who's taking charge. We don't know what the power structure is looking like down there. So kind of anything is open as a possibility here as a viewer. Like, yeah, we find out more stuff episode 2 and episode 3, but right now it's like, huh? What's going on? Like, I felt like it was a surprise because we kind of stay in Piltover in episode 1,
Mhm.
and then in episode 2 we kind of move down to Zaun, which
Yeah,
was
that was such a big thing for me. I like after the episode finished, I was like, wow, we did not see Jinx at all.
well, we saw her in like the Caitlyn's perspective, right? But
But we didn't see her like after the fact. Like we didn't actually get a scene with Jinx.
and maybe too it was very fast. This was happening really fast, which is
Mhm.
I guess how it was happening in their perspective as well. But
Yeah.
I was happening fast. I was not expecting it as a viewer up until like when I saw the tattooed guy, but in regards to another big fight montage violence thing, I was happily surprised. We get more of the Juggernauts. The music is really good here too. And one of the core themes going on at this point in the text is Jace not wanting to budge on using hex tech to help
As a defense.
as defense, right? And
Yeah.
when he was that sweet moment when he was laying his head on Mel's lap, he was like, "Please tell me you didn't let them." And she's like, "No, don't worry, I took care of it." But this was an essential push into him completely changing his mind on that and almost viewing it now as a necessity, because we see really goofy moments here with Vi fighting back with was it a fire extinguisher or something like that, and we see
Her
Jace
bare hands
her bare
as
hands.
well.
Yeah, we also see Jace fighting on stage at some point with a gate door.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah. So, like, imagine you just had this discussion with people, like, hey, you know, um, no hex tech to defend ourselves. This is just a single person attack. And then here you are, literally facing a terror attack. And mind you, this is kind of dark. The beginning of this fight, especially when the Juggernauts come in, they are killing. They are not, like, it is,
Recklessly.
it is death. It's not gory per se, but it isn't
They don't waste
a,
time.
they don't waste time, but what I'm trying to say is it isn't like an animated, cute version of death. There is violence. This is a terror attack. This isn't some kind of, like, it isn't a kid show kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's very clearly like, oh, I see why you don't show this to someone who's really young. So yeah, he witnesses a death right in front of him, actually, of an enforcer earlier on in the fight, like right in front of him.
Who almost looks like the enforcer jumps to guard him.
I mean, it's his job. No?
Yeah. But even still, like, seeing that.
So this was a clear Also, big guy. Big guy, love
Huge
that.
guy.
As an Iron Man fan, as I was so happy
What
to
is-
see that it felt similar to, you know, some things I've seen in Iron Man. If you like Iron Man, you've probably seen stuff. But yeah,
the
so
Hulk suit.
just stab, stab, death, fighting with
A fire
objects.
extinguisher,
Yeah.
yeah. Later on, a tiny little smithing hammer.
Well, that's not okay. Well, maybe you didn't pick that up because you did just watch it the first time through. But that's like his hammer, his
Yeah,
father's.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
The,
okay,
the
okay.
hammer, the hammer that he uses to strike
Don't undermine the
the
tiny
gemstones.
smithing hammer, my guy.
Sorry, I mean, I'm under. She undermined it. That's for sure.
um, but yeah, it was a very, again, not gory, but a lot of death, and I was
Yeah,
happy to see that. I think I was.
happy to see that.
Yeah, I'm trying to like rectify that choice. Like, that's a sentence that I
That
just
was
said.
that was an interesting choice of words.
I was happy to see that amount of death. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I was though. Like, I don't know how. There's nothing I can really follow that up with other. Okay, so you know what I'll follow that up with? I'll follow that up with my two disappointments from the scene. Okay,
Okay.
I actually had disappointments.
Sure.
I was disappointed, and again, this everybody can have their opinion, but you can tell me I'm wrong. I was disappointed. Uh, here when I'm just
Here's
corrupt.
Johnny.
Here's Johnny. Yeah. First off, chainsaw's so cool. Don't know how it actually functions, but that's not important. When Jace gets his backslash, is it in a little bit? Okay, yeah. So like the two moments were pretty much back to back. We see this slow-mo shot of her being fine, by the way. She got slammed in the head with the
Yeah,
hammer.
I'm saying she don't undermine the hammer, but she kind of does.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I don't think I could tank a hammer shot to the head and get up at least right away. At least be down
Yeah.
for a little bit.
She
But
got
yeah,
right off, blood in her eye and everything.
good point, Wolf. They really lean into the horror of it, like the "Here's Johnny" reference feels like,
Yeah.
and a lot of chainsaw. I mean, chainsaws I feel are very consistent with horror. You know, you think of being chased around a horror themed attraction, and there's always the chainsaw guy. So she could have had any weapon. They chose a double, triple, quadruple bladed chainsaw.
Yeah.
At this moment here, right? Oh man. Okay. I love this. Okay.
I love this.
Listen.
I thought they were gonna talk about the things you were disappointed with, not
Yes.
more happiness to see people being
No.
hurt.
That will follow. I promise that will follow. But I love this. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I
Because
would like to.
it like slows down. Sorry, I'm just trying not to get copyrighted. He falls. And there's blood a little bit, and a really deep, gnarly
That is
cut.
cut too.
It is a gnarly cut. I was kind of thinking he was dead. Low key. The high key, actually.
I thought, yeah, I thought he was going to die in this scene. But once I did see this guy, I was like, oh no, he's gonna keep fighting.
Well, he ends up dragging himself out, right?
Yeah, which is surprising.
Like this.
I thought here he was gonna get killed, for sure.
Yes.
I thought this was gonna be on stage, front and center.
So we kind of, I guess, from the thing we find out in episode 3, maybe he was never able to die, but that puts a lot of difficulties into. She did decide to take her time, so the person that had orchestrated this would have to have been banking on.
I think maybe the goal could have been to kill him.
I don't think the goal was to kill him.
I think it could have been a foreseen consequence to this.
Like,
And
so,
I don't want to give my reasons why. I can't give my reasons why, but
it's okay. So maybe the person that orchestrated this was okay with.
yeah, for a very specific reason.
Okay,
and
but so
I'm
this
sure you can draw conclusions.
this was
but...
the exact moment I was disappointed. Like this is actually the exact
Oh,
moment I was disappointed.
oh, okay.
I just was. I
No, I get it. I get it. I'm just saying that you're happy when people are dying. You're
no
sad when people are
no
saved.
stop.
I'm just, you know.
Listen, that's not what I'm saying. I think I was really happy with how far they were leaning into the horror, into the severity of the terror, and I was really impressed. And I think that's why Arcane stood out to me to begin with. They were not afraid to take risks and break tropes. This kind of
Mhm.
felt to me like they
It
were
is true.
pulling Arcane back into that tropey category, and
Mhm.
I thought Jace was should have died there, and I don't know,
Yeah.
it was a moment where I was like, okay. And I don't really like that feeling, but I feel like Arcane also has such high expectations and standards, so I'm trying to be kind to that. But I don't like saying that for Arcane. I don't want to say during a huge pivotal important moment, okay. And
Yeah.
I wasn't really happy. I wasn't like, yeah, she's like, yeah, she got there in time and she got the weapon. Like, yeah, like I
Yeah.
wasn't like that. And if you're doing it right, I feel like you would want that response. And maybe I was the only one that had the crazy mean response that I had. But
No, I don't think you are, because like I have this similar response to every time I see this, every time I see these scenes, because like I know what's coming, you know,
mhm.
and like I hate that I'm able to call it, you know, especially with Arcane. Arcane has surprised me so much, but it's even in season one, I will say there are a lot of scenes that in season one even that where I was like, okay, I could see where this is going, like I can see where they're gonna take this. Um, I feel like I'm not as and I guess you're probably gonna ask for examples, but I can't give any
That's
examples off
okay.
the
Go
top of
ahead.
my head. But like there are a lot of scenes even throughout season one where I'm like, okay, like they do still follow the tropes a little bit. I feel like they're not free of it. They do avoid them and skirt around them very well, and I will give Arcane that, like especially. But there are a few scenes like this where they do kind of fall back into those tropes. My slightest criticism. But yeah, I in this scene I saw that coming. I was like, who's gonna save him? Because somebody's got to save him here.
Well, no, I don't know. I think the reason why a lot of people like Arcane is because they almost kind of on a meta way like knowledge tropes and then
Hmm.
subvert them in a pretty nuanced and interesting way. Like the Harley Quinn, she didn't become a Harley Quinn; she became a very
Yeah,
interesting,
yeah,
complicated character. Like there was like the bridge jump, like all of these things were tropey, cliche potentially, but it didn't become that. Here, I was disappointed with that because it felt too feel good, dare I
yeah.
say, and it didn't really feel good. And then the second moment was the immediate fact that this big guy did not kill either of our enforcers. Did
Hmm.
not kill the little preppy happy one that
Yeah.
you were
Okay,
talking about liking.
maybe I am wrong in saying this, but I do feel as though Arcane is a little afraid of killing off characters that don't have completely finished arcs. They seem a little afraid of killing characters prematurely.
What do you mean? Like they have to have a full character arc first?
Yeah, like let's say um who's a good character to reference it? I mean, Jace would be the easiest one to reference this to. But like if there's more to unpack in their story, I feel like they you can almost guarantee that they won't be killed. I don't feel like I've seen an actual premature death. Like Silco died when his character arc was completed.
I mean, Milo and Clagger.
But even then, ah, ah, nah,
Definitely. I think that's why it took a lot of people by surprise because they were like
yeah,
fundamentally still developing. But I don't know. For me, I was just disappointed that the two guards got away, the two enforcers got away. I mean, even after the guy took a braver stance, and then I see why they did it though, because right here, this I'm so sorry. This moment right here, when Vi can't figure it out, and
Mm-hmm.
then
Yeah, and he has to assist.
he has to assist physically. It's basically him giving a I accept that we have to use hex tech to fight back kind of moment. Like
Yeah.
that theme, that character arc progressing. So I was like, okay, that's why we're doing this. And it made sense, but I still wasn't happy about it. And the fact that they got saved
Yeah, by
again.
not the hex tech.
Yeah, so like it was two saved moments back to back, which
Yeah.
for me was a little bit much.
Well,
And
yeah,
also, she got.
I
Go ahead.
I did actually like this saving because of hex tech missing. I feel I did not actually that was one thing that did surprise me, that it wasn't hex tech that saved them.
Well, it was just an insanely powerful spear throw that
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
came out of what
But
portal
but I
because it was so fast it went through metal.
but I do enjoy that it wasn't hex tech that saved them. I do like that change, because I fully expected hex tech to
That's
come in and
fair.
save the day. That is one trope that they did break for me.
I guess I actually thought wrong too. By the way, about who interfered. I MLT in chat was saying like they're waiting for Ambessa to intervene for like 3 minutes. When I saw that spear, I thought that was I was like firelights, firefights, fire
Yeah,
team.
so did I.
Like
So did I. I literally
really.
screamed, "Echo!" I went, "Echo? Is Echo here?" I had that immediate same reaction.
Dude, I love how every time you said echo, you like reached another note
I
higher.
love that. I
Echo.
love that, man.
So yeah, that's what I thought initially. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. Ambessa's here. Like, duh. It's gonna be Ambessa. Why?
Yeah.
Who else could throw a? First off, Echo can't throw a spear like that. Like that's crazy. Um.
I don't know. I feel like he could.
Oh, and there was one other moment I thought was cool. I don't know if I can find it because it's a very small detail. Um. There's a moment I really enjoyed where here it is. Okay. A little bit before.
Whoosh.
Little bit before. Here it is. It's when Caitlyn. I had to slow this down because I didn't actually believe. I didn't know what I was seeing because this is so fast paced. I didn't know what I was seeing, but I replayed it 3 times and slowed it down. And I'm gonna hold down my spacebar chat so you can see it frame by frame. But it's Caitlyn's bullet pushes the Juggernaut's sword from the right to the left to miss Vi. And that to me was like hella cool, but like a little fucking crazy. You know?
A little insane of a shot. Also, if you want to back this up like another 30 or 20 seconds, I do want to talk about a scene that I really like.
This this
But after you show that, after you show this,
yeah, yeah. I just want to show this because I was like, that's not. I mean, it's cool, but I'm like, that's
it's cool, yeah.
crazy.
No, quite literally, the thing that I want to see is right here.
Oh, sure, go ahead. I'll just stay here.
No, play it. Vi's run right here. Nuts. I don't know. Like I had to rewind this like 2 or 3 times. I love the way that she just it full on sprinted into action. Just the way that she jumps, it is full disregard for her own safety. She just runs in to protect protect Caitlyn.
Mm-hmm.
God, I love that so much. I literally backed this up like 2 or 3 times. I love that so. I love her running so much. I don't know what it was about it.
Very
But
parkour.
yeah, just no, just like yeah, just like the absolute disregard. Like
No, read
she
Wolf's
it,
read Wolf's comment.
wait, which one?
That Vi's dabbing in the air.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, that's the main thing to focus on.
Really, it is.
Yeah. Vi dabbing in the air. Yeah, that's really what I loved about this scene. To be honest, that's why I had to replay it so many times.
Yeah, so basically Vi pushes over the knife with the bullet, which I was like, okay. And then also Vi gets to the top of that tower and gets back down with that heavy ass weaponry so fast. Um yeah, it just was a lot of moving parts and I was kind of I didn't like the two feel good moments. They
Yeah.
aren't a necessarily feel good show in my opinion, so I was kind of surprised to see them do that. But
Yeah, they did
again,
not take a loss here.
no, this well they did take losses. I'd
Okay,
say
no. I'm saying our main characters did not take a loss into the cast.
mm,
Sorry,
mm.
not that Piltover didn't take a loss. Piltover
Like
took a massive
massive
loss.
loss.
but
Okay.
but the main cast, like we did not lose a main character.
I guess yeah. I mean, it was such a big fight
Yeah, I'm
and
surprised that we didn't lose
so
anybody.
many
Like
close
name.
calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. This moment here, that
Ah,
your guy
what a
that you
man!
love.
What a man! What a man! What
Should
a
we
man!
should we make the argument of whether or not he should be able to fucking hold this up?
You're goddamn right he should.
Dude, I don't know. He gets he's not even holding it up. He's holding up a punch from this brother too. Like,
Uh-huh.
no.
Yeah, absolutely, because he's that guy.
No. There's I don't know.
I mean, you could make the same argument about season 1, episode 3, Vi holding off
Here.
everybody.
But like I guess he's a thicker guy, so like
He
maybe
is huge. With
because
that big shield, with that leverage.
and then pound, dude.
Yeah, and by the way, he does not move. He hardly moves an inch when he gets hit by that second hit.
I know it should have like at least pancaked him.
Yeah, like at the very least, he should have dropped to his knees or something here. But no, he takes that.
He does.
Absolutely, he takes that. Absolutely, he takes that.
Okay.
He is my guy. I have no idea what his name is, but he is my guy.
I guess we don't know anything about him. Maybe he's a fighter already.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just he's this the size comparison alone, and then all of that metal and all of
Yeah,
the
he is.
power that they've been shown to have as Juggernauts. I
Out
was
of him
going,
being pumped with Shimmer. Yeah,
dude should be pancaked.
no, absolutely, he should be pancaked. But he's that guy.
He's that guy. That's the thing. Yeah. So basically, this scene is a very long sequence, but I almost say it's like the second half of the show. Vi somehow makes it to the top of the tower and back down with the weapon.
Yeah, so quick.
Just in time, too, mind you.
Yeah, just in time.
Then we get the reveal of the
Very Hallmark movie-esque.
That's the thing, is I don't like that. That's okay. I was still enjoying it. The music and the editing and the animation, it was cool. I was having fun watching it.
Very, very good scene, yeah. But there were a very
That's just me. I mean, maybe other people were like, "No, it's cool. Like, it makes sense. It all lines up. Nothing is faulty there." But
I mean, I agree with you. It's just I don't like the saving in the nick of time scenes. The tension to be, you build up all this tension just for it to be relieved. Like with the intention of it being relieved that way.
I see what you're saying. See if yeah, the Noxus people come in. They cut off all of the heads. It seems like they take time to make sure they cut off all of the heads.
All the heads.
And Ambessa is once again really comfortable.
Very calm. Yeah, very calm being covered in blood.
And we get a moment between Caitlyn and Vi. Quite a somber moment. And we get to see, I like the close-up on Caitlyn's teeth when she gets angry. You know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
There's a close-up where she kind of like grits her teeth, and yeah, she's they're slowly walking her down the line of, I can't maintain my understanding anymore. I'm just angry and lost.
Yeah, she's trying so hard to understand, but it's just hit after hit after hit to her entire like justice system in her head. Like she like I even said yesterday, like she has such a strong sense of justice, such a strong sense of like what's right and what's wrong, and she really like you said, she really listens to people, like she understands people, and she's just getting pushed so far into breaking that over and over again. And I think you really see it coming through in this scene and the scene before where she asked Vi to join as an enforcer.
Yeah, she's slowly being walked to, I'm going to not be an understanding individual anymore. And
yeah,
view everything from a narrow lens, which is not even understandable because which is understandable because of all of the things she's facing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the little moment there. Again, she doesn't really let herself feel her stuff for too long.
Mm-mm.
And then we get a really nice look at the carnage before the scene ends. So it was an upsetting moment, I would say, seeing this stuff here.
Yeah. And once again, I think we see Vi beginning to change her own morals and her own personality to fit what Kate needs in that moment.
You think so?
I do. I think this was the final push for her between like we've seen this in, like, I think we see this in three stages, right? Stage one is Vi saying no, absolutely not. I'm not joining an enforcer that goes against everything I stand for. To the scene where she gets comforted by what's her name, Maddie,
But is that
correct?
changing her morals or just
I
expanding her understanding?
To me specifically, I would say it's changing her character to adapt to it. Even if she doesn't fully believe in it, she's changing her character to adapt to somebody for somebody that she loves. I know that feeling myself. And I feel like that's very well I very much relate to it, and maybe I'm letting my own
Mm-hmm.
ideas, like my own philosophies get in the way of it. But to me, personally, it's changing your morals to fit the morals of somebody else that you love because you want to understand them. And it doesn't necessarily mean that she's faking it or that she's lying to herself in any
Yeah.
way.
I don't know. I
But
think Vi is hasn't really spent time up here in the upper city like this, so I think it's genuinely starting to change.
it could, yeah. But I do feel as though her love, if she didn't have this love for Caitlyn, she wouldn't.
Hmm. I don't know.
Even
Maybe
if she experienced the same things, if
that's
she
an
didn't have this
interesting
exact
argument. I think
relationship.
she would if she experienced the same thing.
Mm,
But you're saying but you're trying to say basically because it's because she cares so much about Caitlyn.
yeah,
I think it might
I
take
personally think that.
more of the same things for her to get there, but like by that's very interesting. Uh, Maybe I don't think I'm fully
Yeah,
convinced of that though.
that's fine. You don't have to be. It's just from my personal experience in my own life.
Okay,
I would totally be in the same boat as Vi
fair
here.
enough. Now should we talk about the weird key because this thing had me scratching my head.
Yeah.
Look at this. Doodaloo. Also, computer? No.
Computer?
What I've deduced, what I think it is a bunch of like projector slides almost that are in this massive circle thing that was secret that gets overlays each other and it's like the family secrets kind of.
Yeah, it does look very like old style movies, like Wild West movies.
You think this
Where
feels Wild West? I didn't think this felt
yeah,
Wild West.
like I don't know if you did you play Red Dead Redemption 2?
Yeah, I've played the game.
Um, did you had there's like theaters that you can go to, right? And it feels very much like that, where it's like it looks like frame by frame, like a projector going frame by like what you were saying, like projector going like frame by frame by frame by frame by frame, like
Okay,
little film.
I guess to me it still felt really steampunky and
Yeah, I think it feels steampunky, but it just does feel a lot smoother than those. But
okay, I'm glad I caught a picture of this. I like they get more of this in episode 2, but we also get it a little bit here. Um, the the I guess personification of the smog. The
yeah, I actually like um I called it an entity at like when I saw it, like when I saw the personification of it in a later episode too. But
they
yeah,
do kind of make it seem like a unit.
oh, yeah, living like entity.
Yeah, but yeah. So she basically throughout the scene is learning some kind of top secret information. It flashes really fast in front of us. We see her family's seal on
Hmm.
multiple things, and we see her family seal on a part of the Undercity, like something going on down there. There's a project. it alludes to. I watched this a few times when I first watched this episode, but I was also trying not to unimmerse myself because, in actuality, I guess you're not really supposed to be
Yeah,
stopping and freezing every frame.
I won't lie. I don't know if I was just like so into the last scene or if my attention was completely distracted during this scene. I do not like I. It's not that I don't remember the scene. I remember the scene, but I do not remember the scene. I
I,
don't know how to
I
explain it.
think it could
This
have
is so weird to
benefited
me.
from being longer because it is very important, I think, in what dictates her decisions going forward. It was very quick, so I'm trying to see. It starts at like minute 34 ish, minute, yeah, and then it's over in a minute, over in a
Mhm.
minute, less than a minute. So I don't know. It's like it's. I don't even know if we necessarily needed this. I mean, I guess maybe we do. I don't know because we haven't seen the whole season, but
Yeah,
it, eh.
I'd be curious to see how much of an impact it plays.
Also, why wouldn't she have viewed this earlier on?
Yeah, why? Right. Yeah, yeah. Why not before the memorial? But I mean, I guess the memorial could make her think of her mother again, but still.
Hmm. I just started watching it like a silly goose. But yeah, I don't know. The key functioning is really weird. She slots the key in, and then these just start rapid spinning and like finding the correct sequence or something. So just interesting key. Not really sure how that works. And it's like super high tech, but also kind of old school at the same time with being a projector system.
Mhm.
It was a lot to take in. I think like it just goes. It's just I don't know.
It's a very interesting scene that I did not pay much attention to when I first watched this. No.
Well, they do repeat the scene, I think, in episode two, and then also in the opening of episode two. They like that whole intro scene, but we can get to
Yeah,
that later.
I say I would be very interested in going back to this, like frame by frame, after we learn more.
Definitely should. Uh, but for all intents and purposes, I think that's everything I have to say about this scene. The flash drive stick was weird. I found it kind of weird that it was this kind of system. I don't know. I had a lot of questions. I had more questions than I did have. Like, oh, that's cool, or this makes sense. I was kind of confused.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe that's why it wasn't as like why I'm like blanking on this scene so much is because I've had so many questions that I was like, just move on.
Oh, just move on. I mean, it's not that long
Yeah,
anyway.
I got 3 episodes to watch.
They are pretty fast paced, but yeah, because of that and because of everything that happened to her, and now in this next scene, she kind of does storm in with like, I am making some choices. I am in charge. So, but yeah, the scene next is I think important to know that it takes place underground. I don't think that's a minor detail. I think at this point
Yeah,
their safety is so compromised that they
yeah.
uh
They're scared to be like up in the council chambers now, or
yeah,
like anywhere that the public would know where they were.
they're deciding what to do, and then Caitlyn kind of comes marching in, and Ambessa still in the background, like a subtle little hidden. Try to forget about her is basically what he wants you to do, but
Mhm.
letting us remind her.
She's
Then
always watching.
yeah, she's always
She's a she's such a puppet master. I love her.
yeah. Caitlyn has a new kind of energy here. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Very new energy. Very.
Caitlyn has completely shifted, I think.
You think so?
She has oh yeah, she she's going through like like what we said yesterday, like or what we were talking about yesterday was like her never going through any type of traumatic experience. This was what shifted her. And it shifted her in such a way, like that it completely changes her as a person, I think. She was not this determined before. Like look at her face.
Because of the scene that we just had prior, I almost thought that this change was because of something she had learned that was like top secret. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I feel like we see this change slowly start happening. Like we saw it when she was talking to Vi about like for initially trying to get Vi to join her as an enforcer. And she says like I understand why people couldn't get like why people hate so much, or like like why people are so easily turned. And we see it again after the terrorist attack where she's kind of like she starts like really like
I don't know. I think
really starts getting
I
into it,
I
and now
at
we're
least for
seeing it
my
again.
viewing, I thought she had seen
Yeah,
something on
yeah,
those files that made her even more determined.
yeah. I
Scale
can see
invasion.
that,
The
but
Undercity's attack proved
I
that.
think this was
This
just
is
like
a
a
closed
slow build
council
up.
meeting.
She's very aggressive here.
Mm-hmm.
Into Zorn with 3 objectives. Locate Jinx.
Disgust on her face when she says look.
Yeah.
By the way, is what I was trying to find. But yeah, I remember thinking Caitlyn is gonna be a force to be reckoned with. How is Vi going to be with her now? Kind of see
I
team
can't.
shot.
And I want to further my argument about Vi changing to
No,
fit
it's
a
fine.
character.
Argument sent. We're good.
No. But I want to do it in a later episode, is what I'm
Okay.
saying.
Okay. This here. Love how her collars popped. I made a note of that. Because, like, if she's gonna wear an enforcer suit,
She's got to be a little roughed up, yeah.
yeah, she's gotta make
Wear
it.
the uniform.
Then we get our team shot. I did feel like there were, through these 3 episodes, I felt there were a lot of comic book inspiration. And this was a moment where I felt it was kind of meta, but in a comic book fresh way. So I liked it. How do you feel?
Okay, first of all, hard. hard shot rating.
Oh,
I
okay.
love this shot. No. This shot, absolute peak. I love this. I hate seeing Vi in uniform. This makes me upset.
She doesn't seem happy about it, right? Like,
No,
she isn't selling
no.
it to us as the viewer. She's not like, you know, I'm convinced of this wholeheartedly myself, and I think this is the best choice. Like, she's wearing body language and face. I'm doing what I have to do, and I hate what I have to do.
Yeah, I don't like seeing her in this uniform specifically, but I do love this team.
Oh, and very, 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 very important note. Jace, we got intermixed cuts of very briefly, like split seconds of, while they were talking. Jace buffed up all of their weaponry with hex related stuff, like their weaponry, including Caitlyn's sniper now. Crazy is
Caitlyn's sniper is nuts. I love her new rifle.
Yeah, so it's because of everything that happened prior, we were able to walk everybody far enough down the line of, okay, here we are. Like we had
this
different.
Is the Hex Tech team.
Mm-hmm. What was a Hex Tech team?
Yeah, are they not? The Hex Tech Squadron.
Yes.
I mean, they're the only enforcers with Hex Tech, right?
I would hope so.
Yeah, like.
No, Wolf. The other individuals I think do have some, unless I interpreted it wrong. Is it just her gun?
Maybe it is. I mean, obviously, Vi's gloves. Huh. Maybe, because I don't see any crystals in there, yeah.
Oh, well, that's kind of silly. I feel like they cut to the 2 hex weapons first, and then it kind of led me to believe, especially because he was working on everything.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's all designed by him.
So you think the weapons are still designed by him?
Oh, for sure. That, I mean, look at the way that shield pops up. The way that it snaps onto his gauntlet. I mean, that has to be Jace. That's Jace's handiwork. No way, it's not.
That's Jace's handiwork. I'd recognize that anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. That's his style. Oh, that is true.
No, I think they had a way to make them. It's not only 9.
Is there not only 9? I thought he only had the 9 crystals.
What are you referring to?
Like the volatile ones that were able to blow up. he only had a limited number of them. I don't think they can create the crystals. I think
They're
they have to
cool.
get that raw material and then refine it into the gemstones. And he only had 9 of the volatile ones that he could refine.
I guess my understanding of different. I thought they had more.
I don't believe so.
Well, where did they even come from then?
We don't know. He just had them and he was working on them. I assume that he probably had been sourcing them
Well,
for a long time because it
no,
was like
that
his
can't.
big project.
I'm so sorry. This like is pretty important because I know with like the volatile ones you were just talking about. Yeah, there's only 9 of those, but
Yeah.
in regards
And
to hex magic, there's so much that they do now that it would be really bonkers if they conquered that, but have no way of creating more of those.
well, how would they? The
I don't
magic
know. They don't go into it because maybe if they go into it, we would not believe it as a show. Like as a like, there's just some things they maybe not explain.
I think it is because the gemstones are the refined and safe versions of the volatile crystals. Like they specifically mentioned that when Jace is showing Heimerdinger the like when he slams his hammer down onto it,
Mhm.
he said, "Look, we made it so it's not volatile anymore."
Yeah, I think he's saying that line as in like we've made it like the process of making them more efficient and safer. Not we took those 9 and made them themselves rounder. Um, yeah,
Huh.
I think there has to be because of the stuff in at the bottom. I'll leave
Hmm.
it at that. I will have maybe I'll read on it.
Okay.
Because there
Yeah,
has to
yeah.
be more with the amount that they've progressed with hex tech. The fact that they can consistently teleport blips everywhere. I don't know. It'd
Yeah.
be really
I don't
weird
know.
to not. Maybe they just don't
Yeah,
want to explain it to us because it'd be like, oh, where does that come from? Because if
yeah.
that itself is the source of power to be able
Uh,
to get those blue crystals.
yeah, I am curious now whether or not those are limited or not. Because I honestly don't know.
And
You
it
make
would
a good
change
point.
the game if it's not, it
Yeah.
is limited versus if it's not limited, right? And then also who has the knowledge of how to make that? What kind of
Yeah.
resources do you need to make that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
So honestly, I don't know. Well, we'll have to look into that because that's interesting.
I'm pretty convinced though that they don't, but I'll talk with some experts. I'll just hit up some.
Yeah, we'll hit some experts in the field and we'll see what their opinions are.
Yeah. So basically, I perceived because of the editing that they shot. They referenced Caitlyn's gun, then they went to Vi's gauntlets, and then they do a close up of this girl's gun. I was like, oh, yeah, her little pistol. Sorry, her little pistol's got some hex tech in there too. Duh. But yeah, it looks like there's not. And then the second to last scene, like this episode had like 2 last scenes. If that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah,
We get this scene here with Viktor in the goo, close up on his face,
yeah.
and talking about them subverting, ex cliches and tropes. There's the at the very end of something, someone's eyes are closed and they go, like
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I was wholeheartedly expecting that, but because it's Arcane, I'm like, no, they wouldn't do that,
Nah.
and they didn't. And that's what I
Yeah,
feel
no,
like
they
is
didn't.
known for Arcane. It's just reminding you that he's here, zooming in on his
Mhm.
face, and be like, yeah, and then he does that.
Yeah,
next episode.
they didn't do that silly little cliffhanger thing.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I meant when I was talking earlier about they know. I feel like this is
Mhm.
almost them meta knowing that this is something that happens, but we're not gonna do it just
Yeah.
because we're gonna subvert that. So I like that. This was nice.
Mhm. I agree.
And then our last scene is Singe. Let's be honest, Singe just kind of just become our like in between scenes 2-3 second clips.
Yeah, he really has.
Like he's in the background or
He's doing something.
yeah.
He's just that guy who's they're like they're hinting at. They're like, hey, don't forget about him. He's still here. He's still making moves.
And it's crazy because his moves aren't subtle moves. Like, his moves are, yo, I created Shimmer. And that's fucked up everything.
Oh, you know what? MLT makes a huge point here. Back to the refined crystal things. Why, if they weren't limited, why is it such a huge deal that Jinx stole one?
Because the
And
fact
why
that
do
you
they
can create a
want to act on
weapon
that?
if you
I know,
have
but
one.
yeah, I mean, I know. I'm just saying.
I mean, like, I think it could still be hard to make, and there would be not
Yeah,
many,
yeah.
but it would still be like, dude, you have like a mini nuke now, so I'm gonna be panicking that they have hex tech.
But we'll move on to the experts for that.
Okay, again, we can just read about it. It's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. I know.
You
I know.
don't gotta
I do
fight
want
to the death.
Yeah, I don't want to keep going back and forth with it.
But okay. So yeah, singed. We see this weird bit of fur. Looks like yellow blue fur.
Solid fur. Yeah.
Trap. And then we get a very quick scene. He is walking through snow, and here again, another Souls reference. This made me think of the DLC for Dark Souls 3 area.
Sister Freed's DLC?
Yeah, when you spawn in, like, you touch the finger of Gale, and Gale's like, "Ah, yes," and then you. That's how he goes, dude. Like, that's exactly what he does. And then, you show up in the snowfield.
Yeah.
That's this. You come out of that cave. I was convinced.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad you see it. But yes.
Oh
Yeah, he's just, as Helder said, he's just off doing his side quest this entire time. He doesn't he's very introverted. He's no people for me, please.
Yeah.
And then at
His
first,
entire life has just been side quests, I think.
yes. At first, kind of looks like from farther away, these wolves are two separate wolves, and it's like, uh-oh. And then you're like, wait, well, why would he be going towards them? Is he just looking for shelter?
That's his guy.
But then we kind of get like a closer look at them, and we can kind of, at least I could see that they're conjoined. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, I know nothing about League War, but I immediately went, "Is it a League champion?"
I mean, if you play Smite, right? So there's Cerberus and Smite, so you're probably
Yeah. I was like,
stuff, and then he pulls out a juice contraption, and it's ready to
pulls out some juice, just chucks it at them, or getting ready to chuck it at them potentially. I guess we don't see that.
And that's the episode. So at this point, I would love to just answer direct questions from chat or comments. Spend some time interacting with you. See what maybe you really enjoyed. If there's anything that really pissed you off or that you didn't like. Subtle details. I know Ho-Hum tends to put really crazy details I don't notice, and Silver always has some good points. So, yeah, I'll spend some 10 minutes doing that, and then we'll call it a day. But overall, I really liked this first episode because I think of the realism of the terror and the grief. So the first part I'd almost say is like the grief section, and then the second part is like the terror section. And the grief was solid, realistic, impactful. Solid. Like it was
grief.
Solid grief, Good old grief. And then the second half with the terror, except for those two feel-good moments, I was like, this is unexpected for episode 1.
Yeah.
And I liked it. It was well done.
I just say, even keeping in mind that this is the first episode of the first arc, and we are getting so much terror.
Definitely a lot. I know I've been talking to a few people about the pacing. Pacing here is very interesting because it is definitely expecting for you. It needs your 100% attention.
Yeah. If you get distracted for a few seconds, obviously I probably did it the whole Kate checking the key thing, and I missed that whole thing, which is very important.
It's right after a big set piece, and you kind of I think that's like I was talking with Discord people. I think Arcane suffers a little bit from not having moments of reprieve, and like as an audience member, you do you do need moments of breath. Like, carrying
Yeah.
that much stress on you is like, think there, your brain, mine did too a little bit, honestly. I rewinded it and replayed it several times, but like, it's like, okay, big set piece, intermission, not really, just like a chance to,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think my brain needed an intermission so badly that my brain just shut off for a minute there,
It's
and I
like
completely missed the importance of that scene,
they're
and I just
packing
moved
it
on.
in because they need to. Like, they don't have
Yeah.
much time, but could they have made it a 12 episode thing? Could they have let things
Could
breathe
they
a bit
made it?
more?
Could they made it like hour episodes? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Give
That,
us like 20 extra minutes per episode, and you just let us breathe for a minute in between. That would be pretty nice.
I think overall, though, I was really ecstatic with episode 1 of the music. Oh, but yes, it was pay attention fast. Just yeah, that's just so. Let's read some chats. Vinny, oh, thank you for watching along. I always enjoy having you here. And you did make good points. Stop it, Minnie.
Yes, you did.
Eric says so. Savika and Jinx are gonna be paired for Aisha. That'd be kind of cute, but that's minor. Sorry for reading. I prefer my grief liquid or gaseous. Pacing is interesting. I haven't decided if I like it or not, but at least they're going for. That's the thing. It's like it is Arcane. Like it's
Yeah.
They are consistent with what they want to do, and they aren't wavering back and forth. But there is a point where I literally took a nap after episode 2. There are viewers like me. I'm not gonna invalidate my experience, even if it's not a common one. My experience is this is like too much to digest in one sitting.
Yeah.
For me.
I mean, we just sat here and talked about each individual piece of the episode for what, at least 3 hours now. So, like, if we can take that much time just to talk about one episode, and we got no breaks in between, like, we didn't even get to talk about little
The
cutesy
little
scenes.
tiny stuff.
Yeah, like we didn't like we skipped through a lot too because we were like, okay, we just spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Let's start picking up the pace a little bit. And
Mm.
like all that was all tense moments, all very heavily emotionally charged moments. Like we didn't get a single scene of just calm intermission in between that. It was all just those heavy moments.
Because even the moments where we got to finally see what we wanted to see, I guess, is most people wanted to see with like them embracing, right, or
Just
sharing a
and half.
quick moment like Vi holding Caitlyn's chin, or
Mhm.
like she didn't even get to call her cupcake. Like
Yeah.
it's always intermixed with, okay, well, Caitlyn's mom just died and she's comforting her because of that. It's not
Yeah.
a genuine, and then we can, because episode 2 is gonna have it, but we get a little bit of Heimerdinger being over the
Silly.
top silly,
Yeah.
and because of how serious this is all the time,
It
it definitely
threw-
stood out.
Yeah, it threw me off personally.
But we'll get that to later in the week, so hopefully you guys tune
Yeah.
in for that. I am so much enjoying this. I'm happy to be back into the swing of things. Sorry that I muted myself several times. So we're still learning over here.
No, don't worry. I was able to carry for a little bit there, so
Yeah.
it's fine.
Totally. So yeah, thank you so much. I will be reading through Discord comments about Arcane, especially on the hex gems, like how many are there. I kind of think I need to figure that out. So if you want to talk about that, there should be a link below.
I'd also be very interested in talking more about the overshot of the perfect circle that we saw in the counselor audio the counseling room.
Mhm.
I would love to talk more about that because
Okay.
that is such an interesting theory to me. So if you guys want to talk about that in Discord, I'm so down.
And then Wolf makes said something interesting on note. I know you didn't watch trailers, but most of the promo I saw has happened already in Act 1. So that's kind of neat. So even if you are a viewer that saw all the trailers, you're like, oh, I actually don't. Alright, take care, everybody.